Oh shit. Oh shit.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit.
And that's how we start.
Oh shit.
Oh shit!
Oh shit. Are we live?
We are live.
We're playing a game.
What?
We're doing Dungeons and Dragons. What is
That's
this?
the plan. That is the plan.
Live.
Uh,
Oh shit.
oh man. All right. Wow, that is a lot of retweets happening right next to the microphone. We're gonna have a chainsaw situation like we did over the weekend. So hello. Oh man. All right. Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Hello, internet. Welcome to Princes of the Apocalypse number 2. I don't know why occasionally it keeps saying connection interrupted, trying to reconnect on people's faces. That's just the thing we're dealing with. So, that's the best I got. So, this is the second ever episode of Princes of the Apocalypse. This airs every other week at 9 p.m. We've got a wonderful cast and crew here. And things are interesting. I'll give you a little bit of recap of what happened. Just want to put a couple things out there up front. Everybody who came out to support the 24-hour Extra Life stream over the weekend as a group, we raised over $3,000 for Extra Life between all of our individual pages and the main team page. So thank you guys for that. I'm also attempting to see if I can get my work to match so we can blow past and be the 4th person on the Wizards of the Coast team. We are already ahead of Chris Perkins and Satine Phoenix. How high can we go? Let's find out. Again, thank you to everybody who donated, who came out to watch, who played. And we will be... those videos, at request of other people in the Discord, said... Let's break it out into the sessions rather than doing like a marathon, probably 21 hour when you cut out all the breaks. We'll do it in the 3 little hour sections. So if you're looking for somebody specific, you can go find them wherever they are. So that's going to be editing over the next 2 or 3 days here. Hello to the chat who's freaking out, including several people fangirling or otherwise in the chat. So yeah, that's just some cool stuff that's going on. Oh, and my 2 announcements I'll get out of the way up front, and we'll go through these guys at the end to get where everybody's located. Rhode Island Comic-Con this weekend. I will be there Friday night. And then PAX is next week. And maybe I'll see people there. Who knows? So, alright. That being said, what happened last time? Well, we got a little bit of I sort of set the scene and told you guys what had happened so far in the town of Red Larch. The party had been there for a little while, doing some adventuring. They've learned to work well with one another, and as such have kind of built a little bit of a reputation as up-and-coming heroes, essentially leveling from 1 to 3 mechanically. And as they returned from their most recent quest, defeating a necromancer in his cave, they found a sinkhole open in the center of the town in which they have come to know as a temporary home. And children having fallen into the sinkhole, and a woman, and they decide, let's go save them. We jump in there. Turns out it's not just a sinkhole, it's a whole underground network of caves and tunnels.
It's a sinkhole filled with kids.
Yes, a sinkhole filled with kids.
There were so many kids.
They travel through, they fight some rats, it's an adventuring tradition, gotta fight, kill 10 rats, first quest, all that good stuff. And then, they make their way through, they find a small, like an 11-year-old child pinned down by rocks, who they set free, who, just didn't want to get in trouble. Then they find there's a momentary crisis of faith when they found Grung, the pickle salesman, possibly in cahoots with all of this crazy, but it's okay. He's not part of that group. They just paid him to stand watch.
Grung did nothing wrong.
No, he had pickles for everyone to share, allowing to probably my favorite line from last time. Oh, I don't know, darling. Here, have a pickle. Probably best line to explain to a small child in distress. Here, have a pickle.
Oh, yeah.
Everything will be fine.
Just eat it. Just eat the pickle.
And they proceeded to go further into this dungeon, where they found a room, essentially a tomb with several sets of bones that had been there for a while, and a priest, a cleric, I guess you could say, of some kind, wielding divine earth-based magic in stony-looking armor, basically the bad guy, the boss, if you will. And they fought him, and he did some damage, and then he fled. Much to the party's chagrin, he escaped as he collapsed a tunnel behind him so that he could get away. But that was not before they found a really cool dagger. So that was something they got. And basically they ended slinking away, worried that this was going to the secret society of people that this priest was involved with, that he was going to cause some sort of, uprising or what have you. So they said, we got to get out of here. Let's go camp in the woods, away from everything, and let things kind of cool down, and we'll see what happens. And that, unless I missed anything specifically, guys, I think that's pretty much what happened last time. Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
So,
that all sounded correct.
Well, that's what I was going for, so that's good. So we're gonna pick.
Good job, Ted.
Thanks. I just, it's a lot to work. I do what I can. It's a lot.
You get 2 thumbs.
2 thumbs, man. I mean, what more could I ask for? I'm gonna quit. I'm done. I have arrived.
I have arrived.
But anyway, so we're gonna pick up with the party as they have again set up in what they. I'm not gonna make anybody roll for any of this stuff, but basically they've set up what they assume to be a secluded enough camp, not too far outside of town, enough where they can sort of keep an eye on things and see if anybody's coming after them, but they feel that they're safe enough that they can take a little respite, essentially get a long rest around a fire or otherwise. And as the party takes their time to kind of relax and deal with everything and all that has passed, I'm going to jump right into this, so we'll see how much preparation was actually done. Because what you guys are going to hear as viewers, I am hearing for the first time as well. I want you to be aware of that. So this reveal my reaction will be your reaction on this. The party, as they sit there and has a little bit of a flashback, typical TV sitcom moment as they sit around the fire, and we're gonna get a little bit of a backstory about who these characters and how they met and how they came together to be the potentially #Pickle Crew party that we know today. With that, I will turn over the storytelling to the group and let them take it away.
Excellent.
So why don't we start at the beginning with the 2 people who met first?
Once upon a time,
Hello,
yeah.
Claire?
So.
What's up?
Ted's taking a phone call.
Oh, yeah.
Phoning a
Streaming.
friend. He's got to pull in something. Really
He's
quick.
fact checking us. He's double checking.
Because it's my game.
So Igni warms her hands by the fire, and she looks over her shoulder at
I told you I was gonna
Vanan, this
do that.
elf,
Why, what's up?
and Ozzy, who she has extreme.
Wednesday.
Well, I won't say extreme. She has some distaste for.
Just Wednesday.
A little bit now.
I'm
instead of
leaving
a
at
lot.
noon on Thursday.
And says, "Remember when I did not like you at all?"
No.
You know what? I saw
then
you
it goes
text me,
wavy.
and then I just
Yeah.
got. I think it was either during a storm or during
And
the
you-
24-hour
And she
stream.
points to Vanan and says, "And you got all upset
Okay,
over
that sounds
silly bear."
Okay. Love you. Bye.
That bear was super chill. So. He was just trapped in that cage. He was just looking for friends, looking for love, just like Vanan.
I look over at Igni and I'm like, come on, Igni. We all wanted to save that little bear, right?
Wait. Are you actually saying that you like us now?
Wait a second. Yeah, hold on.
Who? Me?
No, Igni.
I said no such thing. She like quickly says no such thing. I
You
just
see a little bubble above Ozzy's head that says Ozzy will remember this.
No.
Honestly,
I just, I know that you are a good partner to have to find treasure, yeah? Lots of treasure when you are around.
I guess that's yeah. I guess that's true.
Ozzy's a treasure magnet.
Back when it was just me and Lilith, just the two of us.
Oh yeah, that's a story, man. I'm not really into treasure, so like I'm not a very good treasure magnet. But I mean, did we ever tell you guys how Igni and I met?
No, you did not.
Oh man, that's a good one. You tell your side first, because mine's like I wasn't, I was just doing my job. Yours is way more interesting. My job's boring.
To add some love to the storytelling aspect, she pops her hood up, and just the fire's like on her dark drow skin, and her white hair is kind of flowing, and she says, "It was dark night. I was sent to kill a man. Man, woman? Was it a woman? I was sent to kill person.
Man, yeah,
Man,
it was a
I
dude.
was sent to kill man. And I snuck in house, up through door, was ready to put dagger in chest, and then..."
And I was happy to be there. My friend's kind of androgynous, so he could pass as a lady. I actually accompanied my friend on many trips from city to city, just because he was pretty wayfish, so he needed help. People wouldn't jump him, mug him, or rob him along the road. And yeah, Igni showed up to kill him, and I was like, "Oh hell no!" And so we kind of,
Oh hell no!
Lilith is from Waterdeep, so she picks up the local slang of Waterdeep.
For sure.
You guys are new friends, so she's trying to impress you. So she's like, yeah. So we got got in a tussle and started talking while we were wrestling.
Yeah, battle chat.
Yeah, battle chat. Don't you guys battle chat?
Yeah, ladies battle chatted. We battle chatted till
till we realized that we actually were like kind of on the same page, and then I had to convince her that the person that she was after was definitely not anybody worthy of killing. He's a good guy. He's a good dude. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. So like, I know the guy. He's not. We wouldn't harm a fly. So we figured out that Igni was getting played.
And Igni does not get played. And
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that is story, how we met. And then we adventured together. She is strong. I am sneaky. We make good friends. And then wizard comes around. Ozzy.
Well, why'd you have to say it like that?
No, just... it changed the dynamic.
I mean, I kind of just, I really came along because, Blackstaff kind of hired Lilith, your church, made a very sizable donation to the church so that you would essentially be my acting bodyguard and also mentor in the way of radiant light. I am trying to finish my my theorem of the elemental spectrum, and there seems to be a gap missing that I cannot seem to grasp fully. And hopefully that we are together now, that we might be able to learn something from you about radiant light, maybe?
I'll teach you everything I know, Ozzy. There's a lot of stuff that it's hard to teach. You just kind of have to like believe in it.
That doesn't make any scientific sense.
No, it doesn't.
But,
it does not.
It comes from heart, not head.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there definitely comes from your head because you're talking to your god, technically.
I do not talk to God.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We can talk about it later. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yes. But yes, I came along and we ended up leaving Waterdeep quite quickly after we met, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, we got the heck out of there.
Yes. And then we made our way on. Where were we? We were on our way to Red Lodge, and then we made a slight detour towards a camp, I believe. We heard something about.
Oh no, they sent us. Red Lodge, they are tricky people. They
Oh, yes,
sent
yes, yes.
us to go kill bandits. They're no bandits. Well, they were bandits, but there was no gold. There was no treasure that they said was there.
There was a bear.
There was a
The
bear.
There was a
and
bear,
you,
and there was,
and you
and
were
yes, there was
there.
That
you.
bear was a treasure. And Vanan. Vanan also counts as
Yes,
treasure.
you were there too. Yes.
It was very exciting meeting you guys there.
Yes.
Even though you ruined my bear freeing plans.
I mean, we freed the bear, didn't we?
I mean, we did, but I mean, I had a really good plan where it's like no one would know I was there, and then you guys were all like,
Oh.
I'm sorry, I do not understand. Does that
you don't
mean
understand?
I do not speak this language.
I do remember the bandit camp. Yes, very well.
Yes, we tried to sneak in and rescue Bear, and then he sneak in and attempt to rescue Bear at the same time.
Yes, I distinctly remember having to kill several bandits.
I look
So
over
that's
at
my
Iggy
point.
and Vanna, and I'm like, clink on my bracer or gauntlet. I'm like, sorry guys, I'm never gonna be able to sneak into anything. You'll just have to uninvite me if you're trying to be sneaky.
Noted, but I'll always invite you.
Oh, thanks.
It's no fun to get uninvited.
I mean, but for the good of the mission, that's I'm on for that.
For the good of your self-esteem, I'll always invite
If
you.
you guys, then yes.
We're so polite.
For the good of the mission.
It's tricky elf. Elves are always nice.
Yeah. Oh.
You,
Oh.
elf. You are elf.
I am an elf. And I am nice. But I don't really know any other elves, so I'm not sure if they're supposed to be nice.
I think
I'm
Iggy's
supposed to be
nice. She's
nice?
an elf.
I am no elf.
Iggy is nice.
I am
Oh,
no
excuse
elf.
me.
And
He's like, no,
I thought you
no.
were an elf.
Well,
Are you not?
I
Okay,
am.
cool.
Have you ever heard saying cannot judge scroll by case?
I have heard that actually. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I am
I totally
scroll,
understand
skin
what that
is
means.
case. I may look drow, but I am not.
Are you
elf
saying?
on
Are you
the
saying
inside.
that your skin has an
Jeez.
arcane enchantment upon it?
I am Lord Elf. No, I am saying I was not raised elf. I was
Oh,
not
oh.
raised drow. I
Oh,
was.
oh.
She's
Not.
talking culture.
Culture.
Do you?
Yes.
Campfire.
Did
Culture.
Where are the s'mores?
I also know what that is.
s'mores?
And it's
Would we
something.
call marshmallows something along the lines of like, okay, like how there's yellow ochre and gelatinous cube, but would we like have some fun name for marshmallows that kind of like had something to do with that?
Smushy sweeties?
Smushy.
Do we
I-
pick up any pickles? We could have campfire pickles.
I'm gonna.
Cube,
Roasted
but it's all
pickles?
caps.
I'll jump in. I don't
Ted's
have
trying to
any.
speak, I can hear nothing.
No? Well, then I guess that's it then, huh?
That is.
Can you guys not hear me at all? Probably not.
What's
Nope.
going on with?
What? Don't know.
Just keep going.
We can hear you.
Yeah,
I mean-
now I can hear you.
Like,
Oh, all right.
Like,
I was lagging a bit.
10
Oh, okay.
seconds late.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, my mic is really loud
Okay.
on stream. I'm like blowing up everybody's
keep going.
eardrums.
Oh,
Anyway,
We'll just
what I was
call
gonna,
them cream pillows.
I'm jumping. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
Cream
jumping
pillows.
in for marshmallows here. Otherwise,
cream
this
pillows.
there is no,
Cream
as far as I know, there is no Forgotten Realms official terminology for marshmallows. So whatever you guys want to call it, let me know, and that will now be the canon for this group, potentially going forward for all
Well, we
marshmallows.
just made one.
And what are we officially calling this now? It is creamy. Whatever. What you say?
Oh.
I think Brittany just named them cream
Yeah.
pillows now.
Cream pillows.
What do we
Cream
call it?
pillows.
Got it. That is going in the
We're
notebook.
gonna roast a cream pillow.
Oh, I'm
See now that
roasting
that
those.
seems like
Yeah.
something that you might like.
Cream
My
pillows.
cream
We're gonna
pillows
put
are
it on a
real
mattress of a graham cracker.
See now, like roast a cream pillow sounds like a vaping term. Like I don't know about that's what it sounds like to
My
me.
cream pillow's golden brown.
No.
What's your cream pillow?
All right, continue.
Now he's muted.
Bone marrow fluff.
Oh,
Bone marrow fluff. There you go.
That's
way
kind of what
better.
it is, isn't it?
Way better. That name is way better. That's awesome.
We call him BMFs for short.
Mm.
You got some roasted bumps. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I digress.
No, this is campfire talk. This is
Yes.
what happens at the campfire stays at the
What's-
campfire.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of friends roasting some boops by the campfire, you know.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I play D&D without alcohol.
Oh, well, nobody's stopping you from the alcohol.
I don't
consumption.
have any at
Yeah.
home. I texted.
Oh,
Get tipsy.
That's why I've got coffee. I'm like gonna bring it up and then we're gonna level it out as soon as my beer arrives.
Your beer arrives.
So where
So,
were
are
we?
you getting
We were talking about the bear. And,
Bear.
We
Oh, that
let,
guy was the
we met the
best.
bear, and then we let the bear
Whatever happened
go.
to that guy?
oh yeah. What
we let
did
him
you name
free.
him? The bear. You gave him silly name.
What did I name him?
Yes.
Mhm, I don't remember.
Is your bear?
Yeah, he is my bear, and I named him John. 'Cause he
It's
seems
good
like a
name
John.
for a bear.
John?
John-
Was it
What?
little John?
What's wrong with? No, it's just normal John.
John-
Okay,
normal
you know,
John.
growing up-
Normal John
Grown
the
up.
bear.
Normal John the bear. Yes. That was
Growing
it.
up, all my friends were animals. I knew Jack and Jim and John, normal John,
Normal John.
Normal John the bear.
Rabbit John, Deer John, Chipmunk
Oh
John.
my god.
So
There were a lot of
then-
Johns.
then
John
after-
is a
after
really
the-
popular name in nature. I don't even know if you guys knew that. I knew like 20 different Johns.
I know no Johns. No Johns.
No Johns.
I know no Johns.
No Johns.
So then, after we freed the bear from the clutches of the bandits, we made our way back to Red Lodge, I believe. And Vanan, you followed us. Not quite sure why.
oh, we invited him.
Oh, yeah.
You guys seem pretty cool. I thought maybe I could come along and friends. I don't know. Just want to high five. We could talk about cool things like how toilets work. And you could tell me about the world. And
Seems reasonable.
I don't know.
I don't.
What does seem like you'd be cool friends?
Yes, we are cool
Yes.
friends.
We are all friends now, which is great. So I didn't have that many before we went on this adventure. So
Well, now you got one more at least. At least Vanan. He's by your side, giving you high fives if you want them.
thank you.
Maple candies. Does anyone want a maple candy?
Ooh, yes.
Pull my little bag of maple candies. And
Oh my god.
I take one out. I take one out very slowly. Like I just reach in, just pull it out. And
Lilith takes
Awesome.
one.
You
Igni
take
will.
one?
Yes, Igni takes one.
I
Yeah,
do
we're
one to everyone.
Yeah.
And then I hold one up to cheers. Are you guys gonna cheers your maple candies with me?
I already put mine in my mouth. Can I have another one?
You can
Sorry.
have. You can have mine.
Thanks. Sorry.
Guys, all right. Cheers.
So they all stick together.
They all stick together.
Oh, nice and
Oh,
melty.
no. Oh, no.
Melty maple candies.
Oh, no. Well, now it's just one large maple candy. What are we gonna do about that?
I do not know.
About what to do with the maple candy.
We eat them.
I'll-
I've had two.
Yeah, you're lucky.
So
Those
then,
things are.
so then, when we got back to Red Lodge, they told us to go on several different missions, I believe.
Oh yes.
After that,
I tell you, those Red Lodge people, they lied to you. They lied to us, and they
Yes.
lied to us, and they lied to us.
there was the tomb that we went to, where we encountered the goblin and the half ogre. There was the strange undead creature that Lilith made very quick work of,
Yes.
and
hated
then there was that floating sword. That was very strange.
Yes. Yes. That one was gone. We defeated it too.
Yes.
Oh, and then you pulled strange arrow from tree. Remember?
Oh, yes, Vanan. How are you? You've been quite strange since then.
You know, my dreams have been a lot,
Odd.
But I mean, like, not very much different from normal. Normal dream stuff, like lots of death and sadness.
I do not
Aren't your
sleep.
dreams
so-
normally like that, right?
I know
Um,
not. I do not.
No,
Oh.
my dreams normally involve usually magic and
Oh.
things of that nature, not necessarily death.
I mean, yeah, neither mine are. Mine are like magic are in my dreams too. That's
Oh.
what my dreams are full of as well. I'm just like you guys, very normal. Normal wood elf.
Are you sure? You look
Yes.
very tired. You sleeping? Okay.
I'm fine.
Oh,
Sleeping fine. Don't worry about it. We're good. We're good.
Everyone's eyes are like shifty around like the campfire. Okay.
But anyway, that's
Next further down in this log.
that
I mean-
arrow that you pulled had a note on it.
yes.
Yes, we didn't really quite know who it was or what it pertained to, though. It was the last laugh. You'll be next. Valklondar, I believe that was his name.
Oh, he was the little. Was he the dwarf that we
Was he
killed?
the dwarf?
We stabbed him.
Oh, I don't
Was.
ever look into who I
He
kill.
was
I-
necromancer. Oh, and he made those
Oh.
zombies dress up. Remember?
Yes, I was hoping you
very
would not bring that up
strange.
because that was
That
quite
was a little-
horrifying.
That's a little
If I
odd.
say so
I
myself,
don't know if I'd say horrifying, but
I find it quite horrifying, actually.
It was. And they danced.
never-
Yes,
Yes,
they did.
they were dressed up as a woman in a dress, a jester, and I believe a bear.
Always the bear.
Yes.
The bear was dressed up, right?
Were they all dressed up?
yes.
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 In the sinkhole.
Yeah.
And now here we are by
Yes.
campfire, freezing asses off.
Yes.
My ass is quite warm. Thank you
Well.
very much.
Not this ass.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a you problem. A you problem Bannon wants to fix. I got some blankets. You want a blanket? I can get you some. Maybe some pillows.
You have blanket and pillow on you now. In
Yes,
woods.
I have blanket and pillow on me now in woods.
I like elbow a survivor.
And the woods are my home. Gestures to woods.
I see that. You grow up with all wood elves, or just with the woods?
Mostly with the woods. The trees
All by
are
yourself?
my friends.
We never actually talked about Vanan. What from? Like, where
Good
do you
question
call
for
home?
campfire.
Where do you call home?
The woods.
In
Most woods, but most woods.
oh. Uh-huh.
There we go.
Perfect. All right, so that's a thing. I'm just gonna make you guys.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is like so much better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should just stick with this from now
I think
on.
we're gonna
Yep.
stick with this from now on.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
Cool.
Let me just go ahead and make this so that not everybody can join, so we don't have a million people popping into potentially like halfway through the stream, like half of the Discord channel just jumps in here. So that should work. All right, hi internet. Nothing like live tech support, right? It's great.
That's like
All right, let me just move people around to the right spots. Oh, okay.
what was his name? Bill. Right? Is that what you're referencing? Bill.
What?
Wait,
What?
You're referencing Bill. I forget his awful name. He's like a
Bill
total.
O'Reilly?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's do it, Dog!
Is that the Bill you're talking about?
All right. So, go ahead and continue telling the story that you were telling from before.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
Vanan's
we
tragic
were
past.
having some good what did we call them? Booms.
Boomps.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we
Around
were
the
learning
campfire.
about we were learning about
We were
Van's
learning about
tragic past.
Yes.
You
very
know,
well.
I was getting interrogated and everything. It's pretty cool. Pretty
Truth,
cool.
and you have to tell truth because we know you are. Well, we know you're lying.
I know you're lying.
That's true. She knows you're lying.
Yep.
I mean, you can
So-
still lie if you want. You don't have to tell me. I'm just gonna know that.
Well, okay, I'm just gonna go quick. I'm gonna gloss over it. I'm gonna make it real quick, just like a whoop, and we're all done. And we don't have to talk about it too much because it's not very happy. It's very sad. So,
It's cool. We all have bad past. Just
I mean-
share at your pace.
If you talk about your past and where you came from, I mean, I'm sure we would all be happy to share where we came from, since we're a group now and we're all working together as a team. I mean, don't you think?
oh yeah, totally. And I'm totally used to talking to people and telling them stories about stuff and things, and talking to other humans and other humanoids and all that stuff. So yeah. I grew up in a forest with some people who are not around anymore, and then I lived in another forest with one other dude for a very long time. He was a pretty cool guy. And, I had a bunch of friends. My friends were, trees and stuff.
And John.
And John and John and John. And then there's also John. And then, there's also John. Who else was there? John. There's John.
Right.
Those guys are all pretty cool. We hung out a lot and we had fun in the forest. And my uncle kind of just let me do whatever I wanted. The guy I lived with is my uncle, by the way. He's a pretty cool guy.
Hey, Davis, do you have the stream audio on? Because I'm hearing.
Oh, hold on. I think I do.
Because I think I'm hearing us.
Oh yeah, I had it on very little bit. There's some
Gotcha.
feedback
So we
there.
were just hearing.
Yep,
Yeah, cool.
yep.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyways, so we lived together in the forest. It was pretty dope. And then that ended. And now I'm here.
So, why'd you leave if he's so great?
No reason.
Should I not believe you again?
Nah, you should believe me. I'm very trustworthy.
I get this feeling in gut that tells me you fib. You bend truth. Just a wee bit.
Well, I mean, I'm not lying.
You're just not sharing. You don't have to share.
Together.
You don't have to share.
Well, does anybody else want to share anything with the group? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Lilith crosses her arms and just kind of takes a slow bite from her. What did we call it? Bump.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
Bone marrow fluff.
Yeah.
Bone marrow fluff.
I mean, you said it was sad, your story. It was not very sad. He did,
Oh,
Vanan. He looked at us and said, "'Tis sad
Yes.
story."
That's true. It was not a very sad story. You met a lot of Johns.
I did meet a lot of Johns. The Johns were real cool, and they're all definitely still alive.
Would they ever come to our aid if we had a moment of need in the forest?
Yes, it's the army of Johns to assist us.
I think
Just
there's
like
a
holler, like
chance.
yodel John out into the forest.
I may
Do
not
you
be
have
very
something-
smart.
Do you have something to call them, like the Horn of John or something like that, and you can summon your friends to your side?
That would be possible. And like I said, they are still definitely alive, so I could do that. But I'm going to choose not to
Okay, that makes
for
sense.
reasons.
Igni gets feeling in gut and says, "I think animals not around anymore. I think that you can't call them, not that you won't call them."
Oh, dang.
That might be the case. But I mean, why would I think about that? I just want to think about my new friends. You guys are cool friends. And your name's not John.
No, it is not.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying. I am glad you have found woods. If your woods were taken, these woods are here for you to be in.
Yeah, these woods are pretty cool. I like these woods. I
And
like all woods. That was Vanan petting a tree.
I guess now's as good a time as any to talk about what exactly are we going to do? What are
We
we
should
going
have
to
a
do?
game plan. I mean, or a loose goal, right?
Yeah.
These believers in earth, mud, dirt,
Delvers.
delvers,
Yes, the
yeah.
Delvers.
They know we were after that one jerk that tried to impress us with those moving rocks.
Lyric.
Yeah.
Lyric.
Yes.
Yes, he escaped. He slithered away like Snake.
Yeah, like an earthworm, like into the dirt. Punishing a very young child in a way that I don't agree with at all. So not
Yes.
cool with that.
It's not cool for children.
So-
no child punishment.
So then, how should we handle this tomorrow? If we are to, who should we speak to? Do you think?
Well, remember,
Grung. That guy's really cool.
we are out of pickles.
We need more
we-
pickles.
Going back
we
into
can
That's
make
a
a stop.
reason. That's an inn. You know, we can walk up to him. We can just be like, "Hey, Grung, I ran out of pickles. You want to hang out for a little while?"
I just say, if my memory served me, was it their man who connected to tunnel? Who was the barber?
Yes,
Or,
the
got the
barber,
hair.
Marlandra Gelka.
Yes, he's a trustworthy man as long and wagon wheel.
Oh,
Wilbur.
yeah.
Wagon wheel man. He also bad news. They were connected. Remember, we played good cop, bad cop,
Yes.
and learned they were involved.
Yeah, we should go for them. I remember that.
Yeah, we should go for them. That guy was really cool too. I mean, he told us stuff even though he had like no teeth. I've never seen that before.
We straight tortured him.
Torture. I mean, I offered him
That's
pizza
a
and
strong
cigarettes.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't take off any limbs, I guess.
Yeah.
The
and-
line is very, very fine, clearly. What is
Like,
torture?
there's a...
Knock all his teeth out, but we didn't chop off any limbs.
No,
No,
didn't your
technically
loss.
we didn't knock out any teeth. He was walking along and not paying attention to
He
where he was
knocked out his
walking.
own teeth.
It's,
That
I mean,
sounds,
Be it.
that sounds like his fault,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
So we cannot trust anyone in town. So we just they know. We have to sneak in. We can't just walk into town.
What if we
know.
walk into town like nothing wrong has happened? What if we're just like, yeah, everything's normal?
We-
What if we just pretend like nothing ever happened?
I don't know if that's going to work.
We bluff our way through and tell them we know nothing.
I think if we
Yes.
go back into town, we should at least anticipate some kind of either ambush or
Okay.
trap.
Yes.
Then
Here's my plan. Deny everything. Lie constantly.
I like this plan.
I got one vote.
I can't. She's not. Trust me. I know she's not a good liar.
I don't know if that's really quite the best way to go about this.
What plans do you have, Ozzy? You seem
Um,
to be like a smart person.
Well, if I was to handle this matter, I would say we speak to the people in charge. I mean, we understand now that the plans that Lyric was doing was a ruse. It was all a ruse. We can show the townspeople that it was all a game to him.
Here's
The
an idea.
stones were fake.
What if we sneak into like his bedroom and hide in his closet?
Lyric?
Yes.
We
I
don't
don't
know
know
where
if
his
he had-
bedroom is.
We don't know where
What
he
if
is.
we find his bedroom? and then hide in his
Please
closet?
continue. Please continue your plan.
And then hide in his closet. And then when he comes in and like gets ready for bed, you know, like taking off his stuff and things, we can be like, jump out of the closet and say, "Ha! We gotcha!" And then, you know, that means he has to do what we say until the town
Alright,
folk.
well, that's one plan. A bit
Good.
eccentric, but okay. It's, I guess, an option.
What
But
if we draw them out of town?
mhm.
And then hide in his closet.
Cause see, we did no closets. I do not hide in closets.
Oh, okay.
I do not hide in closets
We,
either.
we not all fit in one closet.
We could fit.
This is
He's
big.
gotta squeeze.
What if we draw them out? See, trick them. We take your plan, and we put them together, and we bring them out.
And
Okay.
then we ambush them and say,
How would we
"Ha
draw
ha!"
the entirety of the town
But
out
don't be
from
the
the town?
whole town.
Oh,
Just
okay.
the people connected to him. We need to find out where Lyric is. We need to squeeze them for information.
I think that a lot of the town folk would be on our side if we start.
That's where my head is at too. Yes.
And we're like, hey, there's a problem clearly, and some of the people in this town are a part of it. So those of you who are not probably want the problem to go away, and will probably help us out, answer some questions. I don't think. I think these guys will probably want to remain undercover as long as possible. So I think we've been thinking about this the whole time that you guys have been deliberating. So she's like, I know I said that we should probably be leery of an ambush and going back into town, but I think that's our best bet. We'll just be on our guard tomorrow. Obviously, we don't want to sleep there tonight. Ask around, and then let's come up with like an escape plan in case things get hairy. Could you set up some traps, Vanan?
Yes.
Maybe, you know, you might be able to sense like where scared people might run, you know, like if they try to escape. So we can anticipate that, set up some traps, whatever you think is best, and then yeah, like an obstacle course where we know where everything's at, so we can like maybe catch a few.
A series of tripwires, maybe.
Yeah, tripwires,
Micro machines on the floor,
radios that pulls
paint
out.
cans at the top of the staircase, you know, the
Yes,
usual.
That sounds amazing. Does anyone have a
Tar
fan
feathers.
buzzer?
And that's when we learned that Vanan's last name was McAllister.
Currently, no one knows his last name, so it might be.
You know, my last name
Elvis.
is something.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we know why he tricked this town into thinking he is special rock mover?
I know.
Well,
Do you?
It's because he's a dick.
Well,
yeah.
Yes.
I think I think
is
maybe
true.
if some of the townspeople might be able to tell us like maybe we just it seems like we need a little bit more information.
yes,
think
we
maybe
are in
he's
dark.
just-
Totally.
Power. Most people do things like this and deceive others in search of power. I mean, he wanted to control this town for some reason. Maybe this town has some relevance.
Do you think Barber is in on it? Do you think he knows he's part of scam?
I would think that the barber and the wagon works and all of the believers were the ones that would be involved in all of this.
I say we
Yeah.
torture them
Yeah.
to get the information. The townspeople. I say we go in, we take him, we
What about
check him.
How about we ask first?
Nonsense, you
Hold on, guys.
Like,
What if here's a plan actually? Vanan has a real plan this time. What if not a hiding closets,
Okay, yes.
a
I was going to
kind
ask
of plan.
but no, go on.
There are no closets this time, I promise. So what if we staked out the town and then, you know, one by one captured the believers that we know of, you know, like the wagon wheel dude and the barber, and, you know, just tried to figure out where everyone was, and then, you know, one by one took them, and then Lear could be like, yo, what's up, where are all my believers at? And then we'd take him as well, and then take them all into town and be like, yo, these guys are dicks, and they're doing all this dumb shit.
We'd have to set up like a decent place once we got them
That is very true.
outside of town.
how
about-
that wouldn't be
I have a
easily found.
Can we forge note from Larry to them?
What if we made a forged note and just left it in each of those places that we knew that they would be, and we could lure them, like maybe that cave that we cleared out.
Oh wait, well, why don't we just ask our friend to deliver that? He's still working. For us.
Grung!
He is
Grung will do it! We could just convince him!
Give Pickle Man
He's
note.
a super cool guy!
Well, now, who do we know that can write a note like that and forge? We don't have any handwriting from him.
His secretary.
His son.
So, tell me if this sounds crazy, but I come from a noble family, and there is a specific type of calligraphy used by higher ups when writing formal instructions. Maybe he uses that.
Oh.
I think most of these people are probably too stupid to like. It's different.
That's quite insulting. I'm assuming that some of them might have some
Lilith,
intelligence.
how did I ever live in the woods alone without you?
This is why I am here. I follow her. She knows things.
I see what's going on now. I'm just gonna follow you from now on, Lilith. You got another elf on your tail.
What?
I am no elf.
You got nickname on your tail.
Just so you guys know, Lilith is from the city. She doesn't have very much. Like, Red Larch is out in the boonies for her. She has no idea.
It's the
Just
bubble.
to, like, sweep that under the rug. So she pulls out, she's got, like, a kit, I'm sure.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And writes some stuff.
What do I have?
She sits down and she's like, hey, so what works? What do you want me to say?
Oh. Oh. Say.
I'm gonna I'll jump in here before you write this out, just to there's a little bit of mechanical stuff coming in here, which I'm gonna jump in on to say that.
I thought we're playing the game.
Like I said, I'm content. This is the easiest session I've ever ran. I don't have to say anything. Like, I can just focus on trolling people in the Twitch chat and, like, trolling and just making quote systems like hashtag Judgy Paladin, hashtag They're All Stupid. These are things that I can develop while the game goes on without me, which is fine. Mechanically speaking, you can attempt to make a forgery, obviously. I'm going to call it an intelligence check, so it's just intelligence when you're officially done with this, but you've never seen this handwriting, you have your ideas about it, but I will say typically mechanically this is involved for the forgery kit proficiency, like that's the purpose of it, but that would let you add your proficiency bonus to attempting to create a forgery. I will let you attempt it with just intelligence, so we'll see. Whenever it's done, whenever you figure out what you're going to write, that's just the mechanics behind it. And then take it away. What are you going to write? I don't know. How many what ifs can we have on this one? Let's see.
I look around at you guys. I'm like, well, I'll give it the best shot that I've got. But does anybody else like have any better ideas? Basically, I'm asking if anyone else is proficient with forgery.
I mean, I'm not really proficient with forgery, but I do write a lot, and I have tried in many different cursive hands and different things. I don't quite know what his handwriting is in particular, but I might be able to come up with a note. I mean, do we want to try and write something to lure them all into possibly the caves? Do we say we want to have like a group meeting with all of the believers and speak with them firsthand?
Ooh! Tell them they killed us! To come collect the bodies!
I can make them seem as though we have been slain, yes.
Oh yeah, and then a kid doesn't necessarily have to be from Lyric. It can just be from any random believer, and them all like, oh, we gotta meet for
Grog! We get Grog to do it.
Grog.
Could
Grung?
be from him. Grung! Grung is Pickleman's
write
name.
anything. That's true.
We could
Well, then we can just talk to Grung, and possibly he can arrange a meeting for us and act as though we have died and lure everyone in, so we may gather information and trap them. And if speaking to them on normal terms doesn't work, then Igni, you can do what you want to do.
Great. Slit throat.
What if?
My
I
favorite,
mean, I still think
my
we can
favorite
set
phrase
traps,
of this
like-
whole
No, I
I
session.
agree.
Go ahead.
Well, we should just lure them to a trap, and then we can capture all of them in one.
Lots of
hit.
traps.
That
What if
was my
we-
original plan.
Yeah, I mean, we can still use Grung to like rally them and bring them to where we want them to, and then just have a pit
I
set.
mean, I have something that I can.
There's
I can
everybody
possibly-
right there.
I can possibly put them to sleep if we need to.
Sleep them. You know, with a good old,
I
good old
would
sleeper.
say-
Just drug them, take them.
If we
Sleep
lure
on
them
the
in, I can.
stragglers who might get away. Save the spell in case any of them try to get away. I think we can get most of them in the pit.
Okay.
I think this is good plan.
Yeah, and if anybody's being a jerk, you can put their ass to sleep. I think that's great. Sleep when we're done questioning them.
Put them all back in their beds.
Well, yeah, what if we put them to sleep and put them to
Oh,
sleep
God.
real tenderly? Like, put them into bed, tuck them in, be like, "Shh, sweet dreams. You gotta make a lot of wagon wheels tomorrow."
No. Ozzy, are you ready for this? You've not killed very many people before. Things could get very bad. Are you ready to kill more people?
Yeah, are you ready?
I.
Ozzy, death is a part of life. Killing someone doesn't make you a bad person. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Can.
But I also don't know. I'm just Vanan. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy.
Lilith's like, I just like killing. If they deserve it.
I'm just saying.
I mean, can one really prepare for something like that? I don't really think so. So, I mean, if it has to happen, then obviously it has to happen, I guess.
It has to happen.
What if instead of murdering them,
I feel like if you say what if again, I might have to hit you. It's just no more what ifs. I say I take action. We have to go get Pickle Man. Make him do things for
let's
us.
go get Pickle Man.
But I think for now that we should possibly rest for the evening, and then then we can possibly arrange this early in the morning.
That sounds good.
You think the two elves who, sorry, Igni, I know you're not a part of the elven culture, but you still have elven blood in your veins, and you only need
So yes,
to
we
meditate
can.
for 4 hours.
Yes, we can have the elf and the not elf.
Meditate and trade shifts, and
Yes.
the two
Oh,
humans.
yes, I do not sleep. I sit in tree here and watch. Yes. I don't.
Yeah, I still need 8 hours.
Same. Yeah.
Okay. Igni takes first watch then. Post up in a tree nearby, making sure she is stealthily hidden in the shadows.
Okay. Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
I just want to
hold
make
up.
sure. I didn't know if there was any other.
Not who you ever want to hear from DM
No,
ever.
never.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm just gonna before we go to sleep, I'm just gonna cast Alarm on our campsite.
Great.
Okay, cool. That's tight.
All right. Sweet. So you cast an alarm. I'm assuming, are you doing the audible version or the one where it dings in your head? Because there's one where it
I'm
makes
gonna do.
the bell out loud, or it just, you know.
I'm gonna do the ding in my head.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll say, obviously, you're casting it in the most opportune place so that it covers all of you, basically. So that's sounds good to me. A sound move.
Dope.
I'm just going to say that some of my friends that were saying we need to make sure that they're extra funny tonight so that we can add a lot of quotes based on things that happen in their campaign to the system. And I have added so many quotes tonight. It's great to our quote system. I have some wonderful ones, you know, like bone marrow fluffs and wonderful things like I just like killing from the lawful paladin of Tyr.
fighting, right?
I said I just like kill when they deserve it.
Yeah, but as far as I could tell, either someone cut you off or you cut out. So all I got was I just like killing, and then I'm like, all right, hey.
Quote.
She likes killing those who deserve it.
Right, and based on everything I've heard so far, that could go. There's a very gray line on who deserves it. Let's torture this guy. Let's kill this guy. Let's do this. Let's do that. We've got a couple things. We should name it What If There's an Apocalypse, or Princes of What If. Drink every time there's a what if. Lots of good stuff coming up. This is what I want, guys. We're building a community around this game. That's great. That's good. Thank you, chat, for keeping me entertained. So, not that you guys aren't, I mean, I can't barely even, so, great. We are, so you take you're taking the first shift. What's the shift order? Are you just doing, is it Igni then Vanan? Is that the plan? Or,
I mean,
'Cause
Igni
it's-
could just hang out.
okay.
She'll just hang out. She'll do the whole shift. It's cool. She'll manage the shift.
All right.
I mean, I'm just like, I just meditate too, so I mean, I can
Yeah.
also hang out at some point.
Cool. Yeah, there you go. Keep
I'm
each
gonna
other
meditate
company.
for 4 hours, so yeah.
All right. So, and just correct me if I'm wrong. The plan was basically the next day to go into the town and do this, or were you guys waiting for the nighttime to like try to sneak in and find people? Were you doing recon during the day? Just give me a frame time, because there was a lot thrown back and forth. So I'm just let me know what I need to know.
We're
Yes.
still digging a pit, right?
Why are we digging a pit?
Trap them.
Because yeah, we were gonna get from.
Oh, you would actually put him in a thing. Oh,
Yes, I
shit,
want.
I was just gonna tie him to a tree like normal.
No, we're gonna dig a pit and then put a mat over it so they're led into the woods and they fall in the pit, and then we pop over the edge and we're like, okay,
Oh,
so
wait,
you better
we're gonna
start
do it in
answering
the
some
woods?
Oh, I
questions.
was gonna lead them back to Lyric's like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking we were gonna do. We were gonna
His
go back
little
underground in the
stone
tomb and
tomb.
leave
Yeah.
them there because they're comfortable there and they know what's down there.
Or
That puts us at a disadvantage.
Or you just paint an image of a tunnel on the side of a big rock, right? And then you just lure them, and they run.
That's genius.
I know this one.
Or you just put a carrot under a box with a stick and a string, and then
A rock under a box.
there you go. Yeah. Or just ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy, and you just lead them right up to it.
Yep.
I mean, Lilith thinks that's a viable plan. She already believes they're really stupid, so.
That's true.
True.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm injecting more into this that we don't need.
Amount of like effort put into this, so she's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to kill. I don't know if they deserve to be killed or not, so just put them in a hole.
Doesn't he?
They like the. Clearly, they've been underground.
Are you gonna dig hole? I am not a hole digger. Are we going to have to dig hole now in the dark?
If you guys think it's dumb, you can tell me. That's the just.
It's not dumb. I think it's great plan. We just have to dig hole to make it work.
Lilith,
I'll
you're a
dig.
genius.
I'll take the hole. Talking to people, if you guys can't tell, I'm terrible at it. So I mean, I'm pretty strong. I wield a sword, so I'll.
Yeah, let's deceive the
Lilith,
hell out of
I am
him.
great at talking to people.
I mean,
we
I
should
just-
pair up. I can talk to people.
I
and
just
then you can
know a
talk
lot of
to me.
things.
I just know, like, do you know how to make trap work? Let's do it. I say we do
yeah,
it.
let's
Yeah,
make some
hell
traps.
with it.
Let's make some traps. Let's trap it up. Let's
Well-
get trappy up in here.
It might take you guys a little while to like go get the people or get Grung, so I don't mind. Like, I'll stay here and dig.
Oh no, we're separating the party already. Okay.
She won't do anything but dig. She'll literally spend the whole time digging. Like, it's like a workout. I haven't been able to like practice my sword swinging or.
That's true. You want to sneak
Yeah.
into town and get pickled, man? Anybody? Do I go by myself?
I mean, I can go with you if you
I
want.
can go with you. You want me to go with you?
We broke Ted.
I made it through 25 hours of awful puns, gourds, and whatnot, and like not even in an hour and a half in an actual like realistic campaign, and I can't even. Okay, so I know you guys are still figuring it out, but let me attempt to get like a thread so I can understand what's. So you are sleeping through the night, or are you digging at night? I'm very confused.
Correct.
Sleeping through the night, bright and right? We all have rested.
Okay, so that's the plan. Everybody gets a long rest. Hit points, spell slots are back. Got it.
And
Yep.
and Lilith just like hands on her hips and picks up a shovel that she probably found somewhere along the way and like
Sure.
starts.
If not, you
digging.
can add a shovel to your inventory, because I'm not gonna... As much fun as it would be to be like, nobody has a shovel, now you gotta go get one in town. As much fun as that mission would be, I think we could just say you have a shovel. So, this is the next day. 8 hours have passed. Nothing bad happened, because I couldn't handle if something did. So it's the next morning, right? And Lilith has a shovel, and her plan is to just spend the day digging a trench. Yes? Cool.
Yep, that's gonna be 6 foot down. Well, they can't jump out of it, so she's like thinking she'll figure something out how deep that's supposed to go.
Okay. She can figure that
With
out.
a bit
That's
of
fine.
grass weaving to like cover it.
Well,
you know?
they did cover that in Paladin School, I'm sure. Grass weaving, that's often covered. Trench digging, grass weaving, forgery, often things covered in the Knights of Samular, where paladins. Okay.
Basically digging,
Yeah.
a giant grave.
She did start off with 6 foot deep is the depth of this hole, but we'll see. We'll see what
People
happens.
can jump out of that because she's 6 foot, so she's going down to 10.
Oh, so it is a mass grave then. So we got
Yeah.
room for a couple of bodies before we hit 6 feet on.
10 by 5 feet.
Gotcha. Okay.
We do it proper.
Yes, we dig a proper mass
Really,
grave.
that's
None of
what we
this
do.
shitty mass
Yeah.
grave digging.
I don't want any shallow graves, damn it.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
okay. So that's what Lilith is doing for the day. And then to follow up, Vanan, Igni, and Ozzy are going to sneak into town in bright daylight. Just making sure...
Vanan was gonna trap it up.
Oh, Vanan is getting trappy. All right.
Right.
I'm getting real trappy up in here.
All right.
You know what? Igni decides we can go in the middle of the day. She uses her disguise kit to make us not look like us.
Okay.
New travelers.
See, I'm just trying... I just wanted to make sure that I understood what was happening. Because I feel like the chat needs to know as well. So you're making a... So, Vanan, are you making traps around this pit? Or where was the plans for the traps?
Good question.
Yes! It's one on which I need to know the answer.
Intuition check.
And I've been thinking about that, and I'm still...
We
It's
can
like,
come back.
With the tools I have, I've got, like, pythons and rope, and...
Yeah, you could probably...
Like,
I
I don't
mean...
have a trap kit. I can, like, make, like, tripwires and maybe, like, a couple slip knots, like, snares.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. You're a
Like, that's-
ranger. Snares are relatively easy to make.
Yeah.
In
Like, those are the
grand
things
scheme
that
of
I can, like, that are within the possibilities of trying to make.
Use all those blankets and pillows to cover holes.
No, that's
Blankets
being...
and pillows are for sleeping in your home, and your home is the forest.
Just think you had tons of extra.
No, Igni, there's a grass weave happening, remember?
Oh,
You don't-
right. I'm sorry.
I read
That's right.
a book about it. So
Chat,
Yes, of
remember
course. I don't
that
remember
down the
going.
road that we have Lilith read a book about grass weaving, so we know that. She makes little grass weave mat.
She's a crafter.
I mean, like when you were in summer camp,
Yeah, no, and you make the placemats. I got it. I'm on board.
that got real dingy because you couldn't take them off, and the only way to get them off is you had to cut them off, and then by that time they weren't the bright colors that you originally. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what.
Listen,
you're talking about.
Friendship grass mat.
I'm feeling what you are putting down.
That zigzag pattern.
Yes. Proficient in grass weaving. Sure. So,
Nailed it.
and then Vanan is adding tripwires via rope and or thread and adding snares, which is fine. I'm okay with that. We're not. Are we adding punji spikes to this pit too, so that they can't get out, or is that no? Or are we adding like like leg trappers, with spikes, so that when their foot goes through, they get jabbed in?
Digging it 10 feet deep, they have got to try real hard to get out of there, don't they?
Okay. Hey, listen. Yeah, you're right. They do. You're absolutely right. But I don't know where
Idney takes a handful of caltrops and throws them in the bottom.
Oh,
So
God.
They'll fall on
Yeah, it's not going to kill them, but that'll severely, incapacitate them.
They will be uncomfortable, damn it.
Yes,
Yeah.
broken limbs, most likely. So that was a no on the leg traps and the punji spikes, right? I just want to make sure. I just need to.
Spikes. That's real intense.
I don't have any. I have no calibration bar for what is too intense for this party anymore. Is
Nothing.
punji spikes is the line, right? Is that the line we're at right now?
Yeah.
She says
Is there,
contemplatively.
a way to,
Like blunt punji spikes that aren't too bad.
Is there
No.
a system we can set up that, when they fall through the hole, they just get decapitated? Kind of swinging sight.
Yes. Yeah, it's called Little
metal
Sword.
wire? Wait, what if Ozzy, is there a spell that can maybe Ozzy should stay behind so that he can cast something to incapacitate them? Lilith is, suddenly very uncomfortable at the fact of, crippling.
Well, I can, like I said, I can put them to sleep if I need to, and also I have the possibility of intimidating them if need be.
Wait. You can put them to sleep?
Yes, I have a
Can we
spell
just go
where I
take
can-
them from their bed?
Let's go do that.
I'm still digging the pit.
And we can still put them in the hole.
Yeah.
What if we find a cart, and I've got the blankets, and we can just, put them in the cart and just cover them with the blanket?
Now we have to find cart. Where are we getting carts from?
Grung has a cart for his pickle.
Pickle
Yeah.
cart. So we're still going to see the pickled man.
Yeah.
Let's go talk to the pickle man, get a cart, start snatching up some people. We are
First-
the...
Stupid.
I
we
don't
are
think
the
I don't
believer
think we
nappers.
need everyone from the town. I think we just need the people in charge.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Well,
so we
Grung
only
will
know
know,
of 3.
Grung can tell you guys, who to go after.
Yes,
We know. We just have to find
we know of 3. We don't know if there's any more.
I am ready to go get people.
Yeah.
What am I? So I go get Pickled Man. Yes, get him on our side. Tell them to meet us here. Or
Yes.
to get our dead bodies from woods. What was the plan? what are we telling them again?
Wait, are they the dead bodies?
No, we the dead bodies.
We're the dead bodies.
Wasn't that
Should we
the plan?
pretend to
That-
be dead?
I think what we should do is that we should go find Grung,
Yes.
speak with Grung, have him help us find the people in charge of the town, lure them over to the site, and then when we bring them over, we trap them. And
Push them in.
we push them in, we trap them, we get them in the hole, we do what we have to do, we put them to sleep, we tie them up, and we interrogate them, and we get information.
We've tied them up and
Yes.
we put them in the hole.
Yeah, they
Yes,
said
that is
the whole-
plan.
Yes.
That is
Let's
plan.
tie them up, put them in the hole, and then cut their feet off.
Okay.
We deal with that when we get them here. So
We'll
I need to
worry
go
about that later.
get them.
We will go get the Grung. We will go to get Grung. Lilith, dig the hole. Vanan can make the traps. And then me and
Ozzy,
Iggy shall go
We're gonna
talk
disguise
to
ourselves.
Grung.
I set traps. What should I roll for traps?
Okay.
Wisdom?
Yeah, are you trying to, you're just making, snares and tripwires, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking that'd be survivability.
Yeah, make a survival check, sure.
Cool. Give me un momento. I did very bad.
What did you roll?
I got a 1.
Oh no!
So that's what, a 5 total?
Yes.
So, you've been doing this like your whole life, so you're like, I've got this shit, right? I mean, like, this is nothing. Tripwires, traps.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, I mean, it worked on the Johns. Why wouldn't it work on these guys, right? I mean, I was able to...
It worked on all the Johns!
I know, right? So you... So maybe as you're sitting there, like, you're like tying it around a tree, right? And you like tie the knot and you're like, that's perfect. That knot's great. And you like run the wire carefully over and tie it to the next one. And like halfway through, you're like, wait, what was I doing again? We talked about so many plans. No, this is it. And like you go and you tie the knot, and then you're like, all right, and you're starting to like pull down the tree to make the snare, and you're like, okay, cool, all right, yeah. And like you tie it off on the ground, and you're like, but shit, were there spikes? No spikes. Was I bringing my blankets to town for the cart that we're gonna get from Grung to cart these guys? Haha, pun. All right, what do we? And you're just like going through this whole process, and you think that it's great, but like you like forgot to set out the actual part of this. Like you pulled the tree down and like tied it off, but didn't put the loop to like get somebody's foot. It's just like a tree tied over. There's no snare there, and you know you've tied your knots, but they're like true slip knots, so that when somebody runs into the tripwire, like the slack just keeps going, so they don't actually trip. But as far as you know, it's great. So,
Guys, I set the traps. They're awesome.
Again, this is over time, right? As Lilith is digging her mass grave, you have been doing this. Like, this is not like a 2-minute process. This is like hours of carefully
many hours. Many hours. Oh, yes. I know how to make traps, and I know how to make them well. All my traps are good traps.
Also, I want to put out that Homer in the chat said all his tricks have worked on the Johns in the past. What happened? He can't turn his tricks anymore? Great. This is just wonderful. Wonderful sets of conversations. And now, Igni is going to disguise Ozzy and herself to enter the town first thing during the day to go and try to methodically put people to sleep and then cart them away? Was that what I understood? Or you're just going to talk to Grung first?
We're going to go talk to Grung. We're going to find out who all of the believers are, who we have to speak to, and then possibly have Grung organize a meeting out in the woods.
I don't know why we need to meet with the people at all.
No, we just need to speak with Grung.
Grung and get him to convene, help him make them convene.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Igni, make me a disguise kit roll. So this would be your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus plus the d20 roll.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, never mind, too late. You already rolled.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay. 15?
Okay, so
16, I'm sorry.
16, that's not
16.
too bad. What I wanted to tell you beforehand, in case you wanted to use it then, is you got a donation from a lycanthropotamus family. You are gifted a fate die, so that is the ability for you to re-roll, to have advantage on a roll before you roll it, or to give me disadvantage on a roll before I roll it. So you were gifted that. It was just granted to you in the chat. So you have that.
Okay.
So that's just last.
Also,
yeah.
Did you say that username was lycanthropotamus?
Oh no, it was Rem.
It's my friend Insomniac Rem, who played a lycanthropotamus in
the stream.
Our Sunday.
That's tight as hell.
Oh, where hippo?
Yes,
Oh,
he was mounted up with a turret. Okay, and then so it begins. So, all right, while this is, you guys, you do a pretty good job. For you, it would normally be labor intensive, Igni, because you have to literally, like, cover up all of your skin, right? But you typically wear gloves and long sleeves and stuff, so you're in a pretty good spot, right? So you are able to you do a good job, a decent enough job, you think. Ozzy isn't really recognizable to you, I mean, you did the makeup, but you're like, I think we'll do pretty good. You don't think anybody will be spotted. No exclamation points appearing above anybody's heads.
Okay.
As we hear these go off in the background. I love also, this is my new favorite thing, happened in the stream, is incorporating people's cell phones, rings and things into the stream. Like, that's how a chainsaw showed up.
Oh, right.
But first of all, I need Lilith to roll me a percentile, please.
I want to shout out to Lazy Mermaiden, who just
Yeah.
gave us all class-specific trinkets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she's
saw
great.
that and I was like,
So,
thank you so much.
so that was...
I dropped one of my... Sorry.
So for those of you who are unaware, Lazy Mermaiden, aka Katie, who played Scarlet during the 24-hour stream,
Oh.
she is also Roswin, who plays on the Monday when you guys aren't playing in the Horde of the Dragon Queen game. So sorry, Brittany, what did you what did Lilith roll there?
I think that. Sorry, for some reason I'm brain farting. 2 and 0 0. Is that 20?
That's 2.
That's 2. I rolled.
Okay.
I don't know why that was really hard for me to compute for a second. I was like, sorry. 2.
All right, so let's see what this is.
2 and 00. Isn't that 200?
Yeah, 200 on a D100.
No, the D10 is the ones, and the 2 double digits is the tens.
Yes.
If you get 3 zeros, it's 100.
Yeah,
Correct.
so like this one plus a 2.
Oh, okay. You rolled a percentile. Got it.
Okay, so you know how we have that thing we never really talked about, you and I, with your character, about how you're an Azamar, so you have like an angelic guide, right? We never really discussed that part. It's a thing. If you read Volo's guide, it's a thing. We'll have to talk about it after this.
It is.
It's a thing. They
Okay.
sort of help guide you, right? In your
I
angelic.
think I remember grazing that, but it did not.
Yeah, it is like the
stick
first
in the old
thing
noggin.
in the Azamar page is like a table for like who's your angelic guide. It's fine. So while you're digging this hole, just digging away,
You find your angelic guide.
you actually dig up a book in this hole. And this book is basically a let's see, a scripture book, right? You're a paladin, so that makes sense. And
Scripture? You cut out a little bit.
yeah, sorry, it's a scripture book. And it is as you flip through it, it's something that you lost as a child, right? This is a scripture book that you started to write yourself in when you were first visited by this angelic guide that we haven't determined yet. You lost it, and as you're digging this grave, it just appeared there. And you're like, well, I haven't seen this in forever. I thought I lost this. Here it is. And it's like...
That's super serendipitous. Does it cross her mind that that's creepy, that she's never been here and here it lies?
It's a little strange. But when one has ties to beings on other planes, things can happen, deities and angelic creatures. So, yeah, that turns up. And you look through it, and it was only, it was basically right when you started to enter into your whole knight. You're becoming in part of the order, the Knights of Samalar, because you're really starting to dive into the whole justice thing, and this is when you were really contacted by this guide who will be determined at a later date. And then, they visited you in a dream, and they're like, they said things, which we don't know what they are because we don't know who the guide is, but this caused you to start kind of writing things down in this scripture book, and then you just thought you lost it in your travels, and here it is. So, Vanan, I'm going to need you to make me a percentile roll as well. Good sir.
I got you, boy. Give me 1 second. I just lost my percentile die.
That's okay.
I just had it. Hold on a second.
You could just roll a d10 twice and count 1 as the zeros, or the 10s.
40, 50.
40, 50.
40.
Sure.
Just 40. Yeah, it's 40-10, but that's just 40.
All right. So
Yeah, it's 40.
Gotcha. So you are making your traps. Best traps ever, right? No questions.
Yeah, the best traps I've ever made.
And you're like you're sitting there and you're like, I don't really want to use all of my rope because like what if something happens and they get caught and they cut it? So at some point you're like, well, let me start. There's vines here, right? I mean, this is self-sustaining rope, vines. So let me use these. So you're taking some vines, and in the process of stripping some vines away to use as ropes, you encounter a ball of vines that starts to move. And it seems to take a liking to you because, again, and for those of you who have never been in one of my streams before, including some of you guys, these class-specific trinkets that donated, I tend to work them into the story rather than just them showing up in your inventory because, it's more fun that way. You come across this vine, this ball. This is a ball of semi-sentient vines that has the intelligence of a collie. Yep.
Did I just get a pet ball of vines?
Yes, you did, sir. Not combat effective, but it is it's like a dog, but it's like a ball, like to the chat's point, yeah, sort of like a Tangela, like the Pokemon, right? So
Literally just got a Pokemon.
This is amazing.
But does it learn Vine Whip?
man, you
Poison powder? And sleep powder? Can I put some people to sleep?
listen, man.
Oh my god, Lazy Maiden is right. You should name it John.
Yes, name it.
Totally right.
You know what?
Wait, John without an H. Every other animal is John with an H. This is John without an H.
I was thinking John spelled Jawn, but
John.
that one is like John.
John.
Down.
Yeah,
So
that's John.
to the chat's
He
point
follows
and
me
to
around,
your
he's a really
point,
cool guy.
he's your buddy. He's intelligent as a dog, right? And a collie is a pretty intelligent dog, right? So you could possibly teach him
like
some tricks, maybe, like Lassie, right?
oh, okay, cool. Yeah, can I be like, hey, ball of vines, can I? Do you want to roll over?
And it does, but it's a ball, so it just like rolls.
Yeah, exactly. That's the.
Now, to your point about Vine Whip and Wrap and Poison Powder and Sleep Powder, I'm not going to tell you no, that you can't teach it those things. Because I've had trinkets
I need
go...
hard scales.
I mean, it's also, theoretically, if you want to get technical, which we're diving way off topic, it's level 1, so it has no experience, and it has no moves. It's got, like... This is, like, the babiest of baby Pokemon. Listen, listen, Katie had a sentient sunflower, right, as a druid, Lazy Mermaid in her game, and she spent time casting plant growth in this thing for, like, an immense amount of time, spending 8 hours at a time, to this thing is now the size of a halfling, and it's like a companion in the party now. I let things like this fly.
Does it walk around with its roots?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Why not? Shit.
This is actually pretty awesome. I'm very happy with my ball vine. I'm gonna pet it. His name's John now.
And it
I'm gonna
also...
let chat decide if it's John or John or.
I think
John.
Joan is gonna win.
Also,
I really do.
to put it out
John.
there, you finding John or whatever it is also contributes to the fact of why your traps are not as good as they should be, because you're about like halfway through like the third or fourth like tripwire, and then you discover this, and you're like, oh shit, this is way more interesting than like setting tripwires. So you're like half-assed like doing stuff while like trying to train how to train your vine ball.
Yes, I'm very happy about having my vine ball.
I can't.
All right, so we're gonna cut away. You guys have trinkets coming too, but I'll have to work those in later. So Igni, you have successfully, so you believe, disguised yourself and Ozzy to head into Red Larch to find Grung. Is the plan correct?
Correct.
Got it. Okay, so you guys make your way away from the, slowly into the woods. What do you look like? What is your disguise?
I have mustache. Big one.
Got it.
I'm gonna.
I'm going to
I
not be.
approve.
I choose mustache and hood.
Gotcha. So are you not being a woman then? Is that the plan, to look like a...
That's the plan, is to not be
Yes,
a
a
woman.
totally normal human male. And what about Ozzy? What does Ozzy look like?
I would say because I have long hair, she dressed me up like a woman.
Correct.
Again, I'm not going to suggest that anybody needs to put together fan art, but if there's ever fan art, it needs to be Ozzy the woman and Igni the mustachioed man heading in with the perfectly planned out plan of how this is going to work.
I'm going to basically take out my old robes and fashion it so it essentially becomes a dress and like stitch it around my waist. And then I have a dress going.
Also, I want to point out, I can't, because I need to stop looking at the chat, because it's just derailing it, but like, what's that, John? Cultists have fallen into the mass grave? Good boy.
That made me laugh very hard.
Okay, moving on.
Oh, it's so good.
So, you guys make your way into the town, and you see there's basically barricades right around the sinkhole, because it's a little too wide to just like put a piece of plywood over top of the sinkhole, right? So there's
Right.
there's like there's basically just like wooden, almost like sawhorses around the barricade with the the sign that's been hastily hammered in that just says like caution sinkhole. And the town seems to be, relatively speaking, like back to normal. Like it doesn't, like that was a big crazy hubbub yesterday, right? The sinkhole and all the associated stuff. But you recall that only you guys really knew about the stuff, like that there was anything more to be seen underground. Like, yeah, the kids and the woman who was down there maybe saw the door or the tunnel, but for the most part, whatever happened beneath in the tomb of moving stones, only you guys and Grung and the couple of believers that know of it and Larrick know that happened. The majority of the townsfolk, they don't seem to care or know, and they're just like, wow, man, that was a weird event yesterday. Back to normal. Ba, ba, ba. As you are heading around, and your goal is to find Grung. That's correct, right? To find him, to talk to him.
Grung, correct.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so I will tell you, while you're walking around town, there seems to be a new buzz about everybody. That seemed to probably have happened after you guys got out, maybe came through late in the night or early here in the morning during the process of, the 3 hours this morning when you guys were coming up with your plan before you set out. And then the little bit of time it took to do the makeup and everything. So, is all about this, and you recall that there was like little bits of conversation about it before, but it was like in passing, not a big deal, but all about this trade delegation, right? That's just like the hot button topic right now, is this Mirabar trade delegation has gone missing. Everybody's talking about and everybody's got a story about who they heard was where, what happened when. So this seems to be, again, you're not really actively deep diving into this stuff. This is just things you pick up as you walk around town. You hear, again, Mirabar, is a city not too far here from Red Larch. It is a trade city. And that there was some trade delegation heading somewhere for some reason. And you guys walk around town. Do you go? Are you asking people where Grung is, or are you just like trying to find him where he normally is set up, or are you like going into the tavern and asking around? What's the plan?
I mean, I was headed straight for the pickle stand.
Okay, sure, as one does.
I mean, I do. As we're walking through town and the wizards are happening, though, I do lean over to Ozzy and. Is it strange they talk about the stray delegation and not care that they have giant hole in road?
Yes, I do think it's quite strange, actually. Perhaps we should look into it, possibly. I think that the hole itself and the comings and goings of the people underneath in the layer that we found underground, I don't think anyone really knows about it. I don't think anyone really cares. Or perhaps I think that they just want to go about their daily lives.
Clearly. Is the... she leans, she goes, do you think they are buying it? And she's kind of like big swaying like a man as they're like walking down the street.
Yeah, sure.
A little swag, you know. I think they do not know it is us.
I think we are good. And I give her a wink.
And she winks back and curls her mustache. Is he at his pickle stand?
No, he's not, because you recall that the market where he's normally set up, like he's only there every so often, basically.
Oh.
Well, like normally it's basically out of every 10 day, he's there like about 9 out of every 10 days, and then the one day is like the actual market is there like up and running.
Oh.
But the market is set up, and normally this would be his time to shine, right? You got people coming through. This is the time for pickles. But he doesn't seem to be at his stand. His cart is there, but and like there is an open vat of pickles, because he like it's all about that pickle life. You know what I mean? Like people should have pickles. People should have pickles, even if no one is there to sell them, which is an awful
smart salesman.
I was gonna say it is an awful business model, because he's just got like people are just coming and taking people take them from him anyway, even when he's selling them. He just doesn't care.
Oh, that's so mean.
Yeah, but he's that's what the village simpleton is all about, you know. You're
Should
right.
we possibly go to...
He didn't choose the pickle life. The pickle life chose him.
So should we go to possibly asking around? Maybe if we can find him, should we possibly just find the people that we know are believers and get them?
I have a plan. And Igni does her best dude impression. In the middle of, I'm guessing it's like a busy square, since there are other people set up as like a market.
Yeah, it's like an open. It's like it's sort of like a farmer's market, basically. You know, cider vinegar, cheese, and whatever kind of is in season at the moment. You know.
Okay. I would like pickle. Igni says really loud. Where is the pickle man so that I can pay him? Hoping that somebody might overhear her, and she nudges Ozzy to like join her. Like,
oh yes, we must certainly have a pickle. I'm certainly famished.
My lady love needs pickle. She is faint from road travels. Is there anybody nearby that I could like make eye contact with?
Yeah, there's like a kid you see like walk up and like take a pickle out of the pickle jar and like eat it, and then like hear this whole conversation, and then like he offers you that pickle that he just bit in half. Ozzy, he offers it to you.
I'm going to act very hoity-toity and just take out a handkerchief and kind of swat him away.
And he just like shrugs and like out of the pickle and just walks away. It's like a 7-year-old kid, and he just walks off.
Like, oh, you should have asked him where Pickle Man is. She goes,
I'm
wait.
not very good at this.
Igni goes, wait, child. You have to pay for Pickle. Where is man to pay?
And he just turns around and he looks at you and he goes, I don't know. He just puts this out here for free samples, though. And if you're that hungry, I mean, you should just have one. He's totally cool with it. He lets us take them all the time. La 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 la. And he just, like, skips away.
Oh. Does Pickle Man not have place to live? Shouts really loud.
And, like, the kid stops as he's, like, skipping away and goes, I mean, I don't know. And he just, like, turns around and, like, walks away, like, slowly, like, that's, you know, like...
Well, Igni, I think this plan has kind of gone a little sour. Maybe we should just go to one of the people that we know is in with the Believers. I think we can go speak to the barber. Maybe he might have something to say, and we can persuade him to join us.
I'll have him trim my mustache.
That's an excellent idea. Yes.
Okay. Do you know where the barber is?
Yeah. Yes. I believe so. We passed by it a couple of times.
Oh. Okay. And so man walks down the street.
No pickles for the road for this group?
oh, yes. Let's not forget take some back.
So I start shoving them in the bags.
All right. So, Ozzy, will you please roll me a percentile?
Sure. 25.
25. Okay. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh god, what are we gonna... oh no. Okay, hang on. I gotta put that down.
This is a good sign.
This is
a good sign.
Let's see. See, this is like right up Ozzy's alley, but I don't want to fill it. I don't want to put it in a pickle jar. That just seems like a bad idea. Books in a pickle jar don't go well, right?
No.
All right, so I will leave it up to either this group or the chat, whoever chimes in with a good answer first. So the three options are duck, mouse, or lemur.
Oh.
Go duck. Go duck.
Go duck all the way.
Duck.
I want to see what the chat says for that one. Oh, we got one vote for lemur.
Yep.
Lemur.
Lemur.
Oh, I think we have. Everyone's going for lemur.
I'm gonna fight you, Chad.
The lemurs have dominated.
You wanna go outside? I'll take you outside and we'll tussle.
Chad, I will take you outside.
I will show you what's for, and you know.
No, I don't know.
We'll get into the fist of the punch. You know how that works.
That's the technical term. Oh my god, a lemur riding a duck.
Oh,
I'd pay to see that.
Even better.
John started outside. Okay.
Chat is savage right
They
now.
never come inside.
Super sass tonight, mister.
Oh man. Oh, Donnie would not think that that's safe, Homer. Just saying.
I will take you outside. Yeah, I'll treat you real nice.
So, Ozzy, as you're grabbing pickles to stuff in your bag, from behind, when you go to pick out a pickle, from behind the pickle jar, grabbing the pickle and like jumping onto your shoulder is a lemur.
Huh.
Apparently. Which somehow, you know, with your massive knowledge of research and your understanding of so much time spent in Candlekeep, that this lemur is a great wizard. But so far, he refuses to utter anything. Speaks no words. The trinket is worded, a small, awkward duck, mouse, or lemur. Your research indicates is the, capital T, the great wizard, but who, so far, refuses to utter a word.
I am in shock. I'm very much in shock because the great wizard is upon my shoulder at this very moment, and I am completely flabbergasted.
Yes, I'm guessing at this point, if we're thinking of the great wizard of the Forgotten Realms, we're probably going to say this has got to be like Elminster, right? Like, I mean, that's who you think this is.
Yeah,
I guess
it's either going to be like Elminster or one of like the most well-known wizards, like the ones that the spells are named after.
Yeah,
like,
Big B, Mordenkainen,
or Big B, or
yeah,
Leomund, Melf.
Yes, Melf. You would guess, based on this, it's probably... I feel like this is a little wonky, so I'm feeling like this is in, like, Big B's wheelhouse. Like, this would be... This is like a Big B, you know... Or a Tensor, maybe, possibly?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not sure. But, like... What the fuck, Trinket Table? I don't have words. Oh, no.
All right, well, I say under my breath to the lemur, Bigby, I know that that's you, and I know that you don't have to say anything, because I know you're a very quiet fella. I will make sure that you are safe. You do not have to stay in Red Lodge. There are a lot of strange dealings in this town. We will leave, and we will get you out of here, and everything is going to be okay. Yes, let us go join Igni, and we can continue on our journey.
And Igni, I need you to roll me a percentile as well.
Okay.
Igni just got another one.
Yes, she
25.
did. Okay. So while you're looking through trying to find Grung, you just decide to, you know, with your roguish tendencies, you're like, let's inspect the cart. Maybe there's some information where he is. You find a cup. A small, simple carpenter's cup that you just inherently know belongs in a museum.
Of course. I go to museum. Yes. I attach it to my belt or like pocket it any way I can. Do I have the urge to drink from it?
Maybe, yeah. In your brain, somewhere in like the tiniest back, there's like a voice that's telling you like that you chose wisely. Like this was a wise choice. This cup, this simple carpenter's cup. And you also apparently find something else.
Oh Lord.
Let's see. What do we got? Okay. You also find a key. A small, flat key stamped with a serial number B-12.
Now I do not have to pick lock. Do I know anything? Igniana Jones and the Holy Grail. Can I know anything else about the key?
It definitely fits in a lock. Somewhere.
Thank you. Great DM for your wise knowledge. Okay. All right. I turn around and I go, I have cup and key. You found monkey.
Yes. Yes, I found a lemur friend. It's a lemur, not a monkey, but yes. Which I've now decided is a mouse lemur because it's the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. And I could just like it looks
absolutely
like
that. That is what you have. That is what you just found.
Oh my god!
It is a lemur.
I really wanted to give you the other one, but Grung wouldn't have books, and I didn't want to have a book contained inside a pickle jar. because it was,
I'm
and
all good
it,
with pets,
and
so
it's-
that's
But
fine.
you can put a lemur in one.
Yeah.
well, I could put a lemur around it, right? It's a creature, it can move. But
That's
like
true.
Rung's not hanging on to some arcane tome, right? Like that's not a thing that he's gonna hang on to.
No.
So
So yes. We should get on with what's our
Barber.
plan? Yes.
The barber.
The barber. Yes, we should go to the barber.
okay. So this
Is it a-
was where
What's
we
his
go?
name?
Let me find it. I know it.
Yeah, what was his name?
This is Gelker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gelker, Marlendro Gelker.
Bro.
Yes, Evil Homer, to your point, Bucky was one of the characters you saved that you separated.
Yes, I was the Goliath druid.
So yes, you guys are gonna
Is there
head
anybody
to...
at the barber?
Let's see here. So you're heading to Gelker's, which is to give you, again, used tools and good shops, barber, and unofficial second tavern. You know, this is your video store,
Okay.
laundromat, tire center type place. Clearly high class.
Clearly.
So, as you enter the shop, because I don't think you've ever actually been in here.
No.
It's a cluttered shop full of lounging customers. Most of them are men that seem to be in no particular hurry. There are old hair clippings all over the floor on the sagging floorboards. Let's see. And just over the time, you know that aside from grooming, he also sells items, no questions asked.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so he's there. He is, currently barbering someone. Is that the verb?
Sure.
And
It is now.
it is now. And you hear there's a gentleman there who is he's like spouting this story. He's one of the customers like waiting around. This is like a good old boy shop essentially too, right? So like everybody's hanging out, and like you could tell by the expressions of the other people that they just have heard this story so many times. They just don't give a shit. But he doesn't stop him from trying to tell it, right? So this is you will know from having been around town. This is Larman Greenboot, and he's a shepherd. And he keeps telling this story over and over about how he found these mysterious, freshly dug graves in the Somber Hills. And he will not stop talking about these graves. Oh, I was out in the Somber Hills, and there were these, I tell you, freshly dug graves. Oh, yep, they were fresh. Right over there in the Somber Hills. And I keep trying to tell everybody that they should be investigated. And everybody just says, Larman, you're crazy. And you need a haircut. So that's why I'm here.
Igni goes, good story, sir. We too are here for haircut on lemur. Do you cut lemur hair?
Gelker turns over to you and he's like, What's a lemur?
Dear wife, show monkey.
Yes. And I kind of like I look down in my shirt where the lemur is hiding, and I'm like, I am so sorry. This is a lemur on my shoulder.
My wife and I have traveled long way to get lemur hair.
And like he looks dumbfounded, right? And he's just like, and he's like, you came all the way to Red Larch to my barbershop to get that rat's haircut. And like you see he's got like this old rusty pair of like barbershop scissors that haven't been sanitized and who knows how long. And like he's saying, like when he says that, like when you show him the monkey, like he accidentally cuts like too big of a chunk off this dude's hair. like, and like he just like shrugs and just like keeps going and starts evening it out on the other side of the guy's head. And he's like, he goes, I could try it, but these are the only scissors I got.
That'll work.
So there's 3 people in here, you said?
There's a
3 people?
There's a handful of people. Yeah, it's there's. I mean, there's the guy getting his haircut. There's Gail or Morlandra doing the hair cutting. There is Larman Greenboot spouting his story, and there's like 3 or 4 other old guys just like hanging out, talking. If there was TV, like they'd be like watching something on like watching the game on TV, having a beer or two. But they're that the equivalent of that. Which, like, normally would be kind of gross because you'd have, like, the smell of, like, Barbasol and, like, disinfectant.
Right.
But there's none of that. And again, none of the hair seems to have ever been swept up. So it's just, like, all over the floor.
Yes, we came long way to see you, even with dull scissors. We have a message for you, right, wife?
Oh, yes. I want to actually walk up to him.
Okay, you do.
And go up to him and say, yes, we do have a message. And under my breath, in his ear, I want to say, a believer approaches.
And he, like, looks at you, shocked, and he cuts another big chunk off this dude's hair by accident. And he's like, and he just like it just throws him off, right? Like he doesn't know how to respond to that. And he just like tries. He's trying to play it cool. Like, oh, what does that mean? I've never heard that saying before. Clip, clip, clip. Just doing my haircutting thing that I do. And he's just like, how did you learn that phrase? He kind of like whispers to you. And when he says that to you, you're like, maybe this is a tight-knit group. As he continues to cut the hair on this guy. It's like more frantic now. And like, and sometimes he's not actually, like, he's above the hair, just like...
I say under my breath, if you want to know, meet us on the outskirts of the town. We can tell you more information there, which is quiet.
And you're like, ow! And he cut the guy's ear, like the top of his ear off with the rusty scissors. And then like now he's like frantically trying to like mop it up with like his just dirty barber rag. This dude's probably gonna get like tetanus or something. I guess in this commotion things have gotten a little crazy. Might not be the worst time for you guys to slip out.
Yeah.
As like, and all the old guys like jump up and they all come over and they all kind of are like rubbernecking. They're not going to help or have anything they could do to help, but they're just like watching this whole fiasco.
All right. So we have one more, right?
Yeah. Do we want to go get the other believer, or do we want to just hope that he rounds them all up?
I say we're here. We should take no chances.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Wagon wheel shop.
Wagon man. The welder. Yes. Welder.
Oh yes, welder.
Okay.
Convince him to. Good on remembering that phrase. The whole time I was like, I'm never gonna remember what he said. I'm never gonna remember that.
All right. Welder's wagon works. All right. Here we are. All right. So you guys make your way to the wagon. You to the wagon works, and you notice there's a closed sign out front.
If I remember, he has back door.
Yes, that's where we walked out from yesterday. We escaped out there.
Are there any windows to peer in to see if there's like movement inside?
Yeah, there's like 2 front-facing windows if you want to try to take a look.
Yeah, can I roll like a perception? Howdy,
Sure.
what do you?
Yeah, perception. Sure.
I'm gonna keep an eye out and make sure no one's like looking at us.
I rolled a 9.
It's like dusty in there and dark. But you have dark vision, so it's not that dark. But you don't see any
Right.
movement.
I think maybe he's not home.
Maybe we should make our way back then and hope that the Baba approaches later.
I agree. Facial hair is scratchy.
Yes, we should probably get out of disguises. Get in our battle-ready gear.
Yes.
Cool. So we're gonna head back to the party.
Okay. You guys make your way back after potentially a successful meeting. You're not sure. Eventually, you all reconvene together in the woods. So to sum everything up, Vanan has a sentient ball of vines. Lilith found a scripture book she wrote when she was visited by an angel that she lost and has since found. Ozzy found a lemur that he is convinced is like Bigby or some other named wizard. In disguise, like trapped in animal form, not speaking. Igni found what looks like a storage locker key, possibly, and a simple carpenter's cup that she knows she chose wisely in taking and probably belongs in a museum. And we're gonna take a little break right now. This seems like a good time to take a break.
Oh, right, a break.
I know, we didn't
made
take
it
a...
back.
Just made coffee.
I know, I just saw you get up and make the coffee, and I was like, oh, we're gonna take a break, but I want to get to, like, a point where it's good to do that. So, yeah, we're gonna take a short break, guys. Cool.
Okay.
And we will be back in, like, a couple minutes.
$5 out here for cold brew.
Really?
I'm in the middle of the woods,
Yes.
and
They
it's
charge
cold
so
as
much.
fuck.
Yeah, it's the same out here.
Nobody has any money,
Yeah.
so it's
If they
like...
charge $5, they'll be like, "Is there alcohol in it?"
Pretty much, yeah, no. Charging $5. If anything costs more than $3 and it's a drink, then you're assuming there's alcohol.
Yeah. I've lived in 5 years and I am still not used to California prices. Every time I like could be a part of my daily morning routine and I'm still like, God damn, $4.50 for this fucking coffee. But it's good and I need it.
Same.
Yeah, I could not live without coffee.
Oh, we lost Ted.
It's all good, I'm still here,
There's
I'm just
your story.
refreshing.
Are we all
Oh, okay,
are we all coffee drinkers in this?
Yeah.
I like
God,
mine hot though.
I can't handle tea drinkers. I'm sorry. I'll be super honest. Like,
I mean, I like both.
I mean, I also drink a ton of tea.
Do you? Yeah, I'm not.
I
My
really
tea-
love tea.
tea, and that's about the farthest down the tea hole I can
Yeah,
go.
so weird. I'm gonna refresh tea.
Yeah,
That's
I love coffee.
Yeah, same.
I didn't like coffee for like most of my life until until I moved to the city, and I was like, I
Oh.
need it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That city living though, for sure. Damn, I'm ashamed to say, like, my grandmother gave me coffee when I was a very young, like, way too young. I mean, it was mostly cream, like, flavored creamer, but, like, I definitely got coffee when I was, like, a kid.
Awesome.
What?
Yeah,
So that developed a taste for that much early.
construction work. It's either Mountain Dew or coffee, which I like Mountain Dew as well, but like I don't know,
I
like
just finished my bottle.
I was gonna say those like the roach coaches that roll around at like 9 o'clock for coffee break. It's hit or miss whether they'll have soda, but they always have like that shitty dirty water coffee. So it's like
Yep.
you got that and like the questionable breakfast sandwich. That's what you live on a construction site. So
Yeah.
you know, I've since
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore, but like that very heavily instills into you, or like working somewhere in the city and there's a bodega right there. You know they've got some kind of coffee.
Right.
Sometimes it's questionable, and they ladle it into your cup from some vat.
Ah, yeah.
Tell you, the best cup of coffee ever had, outside of some like broken, defunct laundry dry cleaner in Brooklyn, where I had to do sampling on the water.
Hell yeah.
And like there was a bodega, and I swear to God, he had like a typical, like you would have like a soup in, and he like ladled into my bodega cup, the blue cup with the white kind of design, right? And like There was no, like, do you want cream? Do you want sugar? I just asked for a coffee, and that is what I got. Like, whatever that cream coffee mixture with sugar from that ladle, and it was the absolute best cup of coffee I have ever had in my life. And I couldn't tell you where it was, or if that place still exists, because it was like a one-time job.
It rolled in through the mists.
Yeah, right. It was the bodega of requirement. It was there when I needed it, and now that I don't need it, it'll never show up again.
True.
Yeah, I've had some pretty decent cups of coffee in surprising places where I'm like, God damn, I don't even need to add sugar cream to this. Fuck, it's good. That's real rare. Usually I put just a little splash, just to like spruce it up. I had some dude, oh my God, there's this like place that has the most bitchin' breakfast burritos. And I don't want to shit talk it because it's good, but there was this one time that I showed up and I wanted a cold brew, and they have like coffee ice cubes. And this fool tried to tell me, he's like, order. And then was like, oh, are you sure you want these coffee ice cubes? Because they're made with espresso and you ordered the cold brew. And I'm like, I was like so offended. I was like, I knew he was trying to like do, be good and give me the best possible cup of coffee I could get. But I was like so fucking annoyed because I'm like, your opinion on this? I would rather have coffee all the way than some diluted ass cube. No, give me those fucking coffee ice cubes. I don't care if you add like 6 different types of coffee into it. I just don't care. Give me the coffee. Forgot where I was going with that, but there was a point. I don't remember. Yeah, but yeah.
Are we just gonna turn this into a coffee stream?
I think so.
I'm down.
I mean, I'm not saying that that's not off the table for a future stream idea. Is just it's just like an hour-long podcast about coffee. And I'd like to say that we like talk about like things about coffee, like the coffee bean and the coffee process. But it's just gonna be like, so I had this cup of coffee one time at this place. It's so good. Have you had this coffee? Yeah, I've had that coffee. It's so great. Tell us, Brandon.
There's an excellent video I would like to recommend, and it's called Common Coffee Misconceptions by what's the guy's name? They're like teamed up with SciShow on YouTube, but like a common misconception about coffee is people want like 6 shots of espresso over a regular cup of brewed coffee, but misconception, that's actually still less milligrams of caffeine than if you just get like a regular ass cup of coffee.
Yep. And actually, the lighter the coffee, the more caffeine it has.
Yes, that's another misconception, is that dark roasts have more caffeine, and now that shit gets toasted right out of there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Get that light roast.
Ted, you think you could make a D&D homebrew where instead it's like running a cafe?
Oh, I absolutely could.
Put a whole new pun on
homebrew. Absolutely. I will get.
Could it be the homebrew Coffee and Dragons?
Yeah.
I'm watching what you guys are saying in the Twitch chat, and like full stop. This could be next year's 24-hour Extra Life. Could just be like, it's homebrew, and it's just like 24 hours of running a coffee shop.
It's like a sitcom.
And because
I love
it's a 24-hour stream, when people change, it's just shift change at the cafe.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be great.
Can we take a moment to look at Lazy Mermaiden's coffee talk with Dawn? You gotta like jut your jaw out when you say it. Like,
coffee talk with John.
Coffee talk with John. Oh man, we can take it. This could go This could go very southern. This could go very kind of like Staten Island-y. We could go
New Yorky.
Yeah.
So for real though, that's actually a great idea. Do you know how many stories that are somehow related to coffee are in existence? I have so many.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm telling you, you can make this happen.
Yeah, as long as it somehow relates to coffee, whether you were drinking coffee, whether you were making it or ordering it or just around it, like thing. Don't
Listen,
you guys
I'm
agree with-
legitimately writing this down because, as again, not to get off topic. Well, I mean, were we ever really on topic today? Let's be honest.
Not really.
We tried real hard though.
Yeah,
And I'm proud of you guys.
we did the thing. We did one thing.
You did.
We
I
did
gave you
one
guys.
thing.
I gave you guys a homework assignment, and you knocked it out of the park. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
you
Gold
know.
stars for
High
the
five.
Dank team.
Yeah.
High five.
Woohoo, high five, everybody.
Yeah, gold stars all around. Inspiration to the whole party. Everybody gets an instance of inspiration because that was inspiration is supposed to be, per the player's handbook, awarded when people do things that pertain to their background. You guys literally did your whole background, and you even put in the stuff that I alluded to at the beginning of this adventure, and we just sort of wrote out very loosely. You did the whole thing, and that's great. So everybody gets inspiration, and then that's good because that's about where the actual game stopped, and it was just but what if this, and then but what if that. But again, last off-topic thing before we actually jump back into the game to try to wrap up the last little half hour here. The way the 24-hour stream ended, and I won't spoil anything, because those videos will be coming out, and I see even in the Discord people are saying, I can't wait, I passed out at 10 a.m., I missed the last 2 hours, what happened? A lot went down in those last 2 hours, by the way. I'm in a spot where I don't think I can continue with those characters because everybody ended at level 16. And I would have to do 24 hours at between 16 and 20. And I mean, honestly, I didn't really do much of anything. But it was just mostly people just doing whatever, getting married, making wishes, things of that nature. Trying to trick other people into killing themselves, meeting Bob Ross. Shit got weird. Right?
Yo, what? They met Bob Ross?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, my games, I do my best to incorporate things that I enjoy, and I know other people enjoy. Yes, because someone's cell phone went zzz, zzz, next to the microphone, a T-800 robot with a chainsaw appeared in the game. That happened. Then that became a thing where there were T-800 robots around. And I almost put Solid Snake in there when Bucky's codec ringtone went off. I almost put Snake in the game.
Gets wacky, doesn't it?
Well, because it's for charity, and it's just kind of goofy, and we do whatever, right? Because it's to bring people in, it's to have fun. Things can get a little bit weird, we wouldn't normally have someone playing a class that is a princess and someone playing a gargoyle who is trying to convince people that they're actually a person. We had someone develop OSHA, in the game.
Oh.
Yeah, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration was
fucking super aware of OSHA.
it was put a character was the pioneer of OSHA, and he had the OSHA bag of plot effectiveness that anything he needed to pull forth to be OSHA related, he had. They were climbing a beanstalk, and he had an unlimited supply of A-frame ladders to make scaffolding to climb the beanstalk safely. Things like that, or an unlimited.
And a 15-minute training video for everyone to watch before helping with said scaffolding.
I mean, this OSHA safety standard book was talked about right here. This one right here is in front of my computer for a reference here.
Oh my god!
I mean, it made it on the adventuring guide.
It did.
The safety manual did make it.
Yes, it did. So, all of that stuff, all of those things happened. But
That's amazing.
the way it ended, I don't feel like I can continue that story, which is unfortunate because a lot of the characters developed in that story are great. But yeah, I would totally, I'll have to put some thought into it, but I could totally run a 24-hour cafe, right? That's what it is. It's a 24-hour cafe where everybody is just people that work at the cafe. And this is just their shift. They come in for 3 hours or 6 hours if they're doing 2 in a row. They got to do a double, right? And then that's their shift.
Oh man!
But I feel like it should be
You're gonna have clopening shifts. That's gotta be a reality.
Yeah, and I mean, and it should be. I feel like it should be a cafe in in like a D&D universe, right? So like there are people coming in, like it's like it could be D20 modern, I don't care. But yeah, like there's Linda in HR, you know, who like Linda there who, you know, and then there's the guy who's the janitor who didn't want to work, but now he's back at work and this is what he does for a living. And then there's like the boss that everybody hates, right? You know that guy. And then there's the kid who's being groomed to be the new boss, but doesn't want to be the new boss because he wants to like experience, he wants to like be a musician. So he tries to like rent out the shop for a performance, but like he's not very good and his band isn't really together. You know, this is all happening.
This story already seems very personal to you.
I've never worked in a coffee shop at all. Like I have very limited. I have very limited retail experience. I just have a lot of friends who complain a lot about their jobs. So I have a friend who I play with every Tuesday who works in a coffee shop. Like.
Oh.
And you know I've heard horror stories from Brittany when we were at Gen Con. Yeah.
I've mentioned it many times on our podcast. I like legit have PTSD from working in a coffee shop.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty. Yeah, that's a real thing. There, people are terrible.
Yeah, people are horrible.
So, needless to say, I have an idea for a next 24-hour stream next year for Extra Life, or a series of ongoing one-shots if I need to fill a weekend time slot with like 1 3-hour thing. This could be just an ongoing Coffee Chronicles, and it'll be the shop will be called Homebrew, right? That'll be the name of the shop. I'll probably have to come up with some coffee themed classes, right? You know, like barista subclass for the bard, you know, that kind of a thing. And I've got some people I can work with to make this happen. But
it'd be called like Bean Slinger.
Sure, that's the ranger subclass. Yeah.
Like there can be like some kind of like mage class.
Yeah, you've got the foam domain cleric, right, for the espresso machine. Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, somebody's like caffeine barbarian rage. That's from Seacon a Witch.
Yes.
Surge.
Yeah.
Java Surge
for the fighter, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Java Surge.
You know, and then you've got like let's see, it would be, oh boy, I don't know. There's definitely a druid one in there. Circle of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're
Circle
like
of the bean.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Circle
of the
organic milk.
Yeah, right, or something, or maybe they're like the chai tea.
Soy.
Yeah, I was gonna circle of soy, right? Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's really
Brilliant.
And then you have
organic almond.
You
milk.
have the monk, which is like what would that be? That'd be like way of the chai tea. You know, way of chai tea.
Oh yeah, that's fucking funny. Oh god, we've got like a really good thing going here. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This needs to happen before next year.
Says Brittany with all right, well, listen.
With too many things going on,
With no time.
If it doesn't happen before next Extra Life, this may have to be a thing we set up at Gen Con next year. Like, get people together and we'll play it at Gen Con.
That's perfect.
And then
I was gonna go to my first Gen Con this year. Now I have a even one more reason.
Listen, I went on a whim because everybody on Twitter beat me down into going to Gen Con because I wasn't there, and then I met Brittany and Celeste, and it's been you know.
Oh, nice.
That was a good time. We played My Little Pony RPG, and things went well. So.
So I'm like very accusingly was like, "Are you a brony?" And we're like.
Yeah, at the bar.
We say yes.
Yeah, well, they were also pissed because we were playing an RPG in the bar, not buying drinks. But you know,
we were buying drinks. We bought like 2 rounds of drinks.
Yeah, but then we stopped, and then, okay. Hey guys, this is Princess. This is Princess of the Apocalypse.
I had a little issue, but I fixed it.
You doing okay? Yeah, I saw some stuff going through there. You sure you're you
yeah.
sure you're all right?
Mm-hmm, totally.
All right, I just
It's just my oven was going. Yeah, my oven was upset, and I got it worked out.
All right, sweet. Just checking. Okay, cool. All right. Well. So remember there was a game going on here.
No.
Wait, we're playing a game.
I know, right? Well, I don't even know.
I thought this was a coffee stream.
It turned into that.
We have 2 of you.
Wait,
No.
why are there 2 of me?
Do you have 2 windows open? I did that earlier.
Twice the Davis, twice the fun. Let me see if I've got.
Just close.
I'm gonna disable the sound on this.
There it is.
I found it.
There we go.
Did it.
All right. So back to the
Success.
game. You guys all reconvene together now. Trench dug, traps set,
Man.
and you guys, now that you're all together, you notice that yes, Ozzy has a lemur on his shoulder, and Vanan is being followed by a ball of vines that seem to have some sort of sentience as they walk around with viney-like appendages.
Hey guys, have you met my new best friend John?
No.
He's a ball of vines. He's really cute. Look, I taught him to do this. He like gives me a little high five.
Yeah,
Little vine
absolutely.
high
He
five.
gives paw basically since he's like a collie. Yeah.
It's ambulatory.
John, high five.
It is ambulatory, straight up. Yeah.
It's,
You guys want to try?
very interesting.
No.
No, that's quite
Goodness.
all right.
Where did you find Vine Monster?
Well, when I was setting the traps and I set them real good, I found him. And then he kept following me around. He's a cool. And then I was like, well, I might as well keep him. I mean, more friends, more happy.
Ozzy.
Cute. It's real
Yeah.
cute.
And
I
now
don't know
we
what
have
to make of it. Do you feed it?
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure.
I guess they
I'm really-
photosynthesize, don't they?
I'm really hoping that what it eats, isn't me, and this is all part of its prey capturing process. But I'm looking on the bright side, and I'm hoping for the best.
Feed me, Vanan.
I think I might take a closer look at that later, possibly. But now we kind of have to be in a rush. They might be coming at any moment.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get this this perfectly woven grass mat that I made earlier today.
Oh.
over at- You guys watch out. This is where the pit's going.
I'm going to change out of my robes and get back into my normal clothes.
Yes, out of your womanly outfit.
Yes.
Igni's gonna keep her mustache on just so that they recognize a face, they're in the right spot. Like wave them down. I feel like if nobody's there, it'll be super suspicious.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast alarm again.
Okay. Mental alarm.
Yeah, in my head.
Gotcha. Cool. Casts alarm in his head. Nobody knows that it's happening.
Hey guys, I casted alarm.
Okay. So, you guys are who's set up where? What's the plan? The perfectly woven grass mat is placed over the mass grave. Pit. And the traps are totally strung in a totally functional fashion. And then where's everybody? Is everybody hiding? What's the plan?
I'm
not
not
actually.
I will climb into a tree.
Okay.
climbing up into a tree with my. Well,
I don't know. We need something to lead them towards the pit.
I'm gonna stand
That's
out in
you
the open.
guys.
Oh, you are gonna stand out in the open?
I'm gonna cast mage armor on myself and stand out.
Okay.
And I'll turn to you, Igni. I'll say, if you want to hide, I understand. If you want to ambush them, when they approach, I will try to put as many as I can to sleep.
when they set off my
Ambush the
alarm,
rest.
I'll do a little bird call to alert you, like a.
But when I do put them to sleep, we only have a minute before they wake up, so we have to be quick.
Put them in
Very
pit.
fast.
Yes, okay. All right, Igni will also climb a tree.
All right, tree climbers, I need some stealth checks, please. At disadvantage for Lilith. For her chainmail.
First roll is an 8. Second roll is a 6.
I got
And
a
then
13.
it's going to be a 7.
All right.
I got a 9, so 15.
15, 13. Was that 13 for Igni?
Mm-hmm.
15, 13, 7. Great. Good.
We're winning.
Good
We're
stuff.
winning D&D.
Solid.
All right. So a couple hours go by. Well, you guys are all stuck up in a tree, hanging out, trying to keep quiet because at any moment they may appear. And after about 3 hours, you hear the sounds of footsteps coming towards you. So, Ozzy, you're out in the open, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
No disguise, just you, right, out in the open.
Just me.
Okay. You will see approaching you. I'm going to switch to my phone because I got the notes over here. Oh, wait, no. I have them here as well. Too many notes. Let's see. The Believers. Nope. Turns out where it says that the Believers, it doesn't actually tell you in the book. It just tells you a whole description about who they are, not...
No.
Or but what the Believers are, not who the Believers are. Okay, yes. You see approaching you Whalver, the Wagonstone guy. You see Dornan Firestone, who you know to be... Let me get to the page. Let's see. Dornan. Where are you at, my man? Oh. Yes. He owns one of the quarries. And you see Maliko from Maliko's Stoneworks as well, the other quarry. You're getting a theme here, right? Quarry workers. It's... God, the names are just the worst. Alberi Maliko. You also get this name. You get good old Ulro Luruth from the Tannery.
Ugh.
And then again, Ilmeth Whalver from Whalver's Wagon Works. And they are all approaching you along with Meryl Bar. Wow, the barber, because my name, my lips aren't working.
Orlando.
That's the guy. Yep.
From Orlando. Yeah.
Yes. As they get close, the alarm pings in Vanan's head, and he sends out his totally believable bird call to you.
It's like a turkey.
Yeah.
We've been there and done that once this weekend.
Sword. Quietly.
I will approach a bit, and I'll walk to the point where I'm right next to the pit that's covered. I'm standing right in front of it, so if they approach me, they fall directly into it. And I want to know if they are approaching me, if they get close enough to fall in, and I'm going to basically prepare sleep to be cast as soon as it happens.
Okay. Did you say something, Brittany?
Yeah, okay, so...
Wait, no.
if you cast sleep on the first set of people that fall into the pit...
No, I'm going to pass
You should
sleep
wait.
on the people who are still up on ground that
Okay.
don't fall into the pit.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. What your worry
If
was.
anybody doesn't fall into the pit, I'm going to cast sleep on them.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Yeah, that's like there are the people we know to be believers, and then there are like other people that are like tangential believers. But yes, they all basically, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people approach you. I think there's actually 12, but you don't know that. So they approach and they see you, Ozzy, and they come up and you see them like dragging leaves through, as you see like it's sort of dragging leaves in almost like a V pattern, as if there's a rope that is not slowing anybody down, pulling leaves through the forest, as if someone had stepped on a tripwire and just been pulling the rope along with them, but not actually stopping them at all. And
That look on David's
and they stop. They stop about like
Sorry, guys.
they stop about 10 feet away from you, so basically just on the other side. So there's enough space, presumably between you and them, that if like a physical altercation were to occur, they would have some time. And they basically sort of like line up more or less in a line, like what's his name? Marlando is in front. You know, they're sort of like flying V formation behind him. If that makes sense. So that kind of like fanned out a little bit. And he just sort of stares at you. He doesn't actually say anything, he just looks at you. Crosses his arms. And like looks back at his posse. And looks at you. And looks back at his posse. And looks at you. And he says, "How'd you learn about that phrase? That's a secret phrase that only believers know, and I know you're not one of them. Where's that woman from before? You kind of look like her. Same body type."
Well, we all have our secrets now, don't we?
And it takes him like a second, and then it clicks, and he scowls at you. And he says, "It's you. How'd you learn that phrase? Who told you that?"
Well, I thought you would know by that point. Possibly Lyric had something to do with that.
And his eyes grow wide, and then they grow narrow, as he's like shocked, but then he's like, "Who the fuck are you to say this kind of shit?" So he doesn't.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Then he also says, "Who the fuck are you?" No, I'm just kidding, because he knows who you are. And he says, "What did you do to Lyric? He's gone. The interpreter of the stones is gone."
Really? Is he?
And he like looks at you like accusingly. He says, "Yes."
I wouldn't know anything about that. Maybe you can enlighten me as to where he might have gone. I didn't know he was missing. I spoke to him briefly once.
And kind of like he's still uncertain whether or not he can trust you.
Can I make a perception check to possibly see if there's like anybody else other than the 5 that are in front of me? Like, if I can perceive if there's others.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make me a perception check.
17.
Yeah, you look around and let's see. Do you see anybody else? Marlandro. No, I don't think you see anybody else. I'm going to tell you don't see anybody else.
Okay.
So you think it's just this group. If there's more of them, there could be more believers, but if there are, you don't see them.
Okay. Then I want to say to them, tell me, I obviously know of your group, the believers you call yourself. I know you communicate with these stones. What do you know of them?
And he looks at you and goes, "I'm telling you shit."
Really?
Yeah. Really?
I like to raise my hand up behind me
You
as
do.
if I'm signaling.
Okay, you do. And he like
You can tell me, or we can make this end very quickly for.
I shoot an arrow right behind to that dude.
make me
Just
an
like-
attack roll.
No.
I got a 14.
Yeah, that's good enough to pull out a warning shot. It thuds into the ground next to him, and he jumps. Clearly, he's scared. And like you see, like the other four are like looking around, looking above, trying to discern where this arrow came from, because their passive perceptions aren't good enough to beat Vanan's 15. And he kind of looks at you, and he says, "I don't know anything about the stones." Oh, yes, sorry, Brittany, what's up?
Can I like quietly cast bless on everybody at this point?
Hang on. I will tell you in a second. Because quietly, technically, you need when you cast a spell. You know, it's a verbal component, right? So you gotta. I think.
Yes.
I think it is as a verbal, right? Bless.
Yes, it does.
So you technically have to speak it, like, with not necessarily like yell it, but you got to speak it like out loud. You know what I mean? So you could,
Yeah.
but they would potentially. Granted, you don't know how stealthy you really are as you're like trying to keep yourself situated. You've been in this tree for 3 hours, right? So like,
Yeah.
you're starting to get stiff, and you're like squeaking a little bit as you're moving, trying to stay comfy.
What if I?
You could.
I'm happy to roll inspiration or speak it when somebody else is talking.
So I figure out what you're doing, and Iggy drops out of the tree. She's still in costume.
Okay.
Never took the mustache off. She jumps out, and she goes back, I guess, into character, and begins making a lot of noise.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I pick up what you're throwing down and I cast bless.
She
I'll
says-
allow it.
She comes out, looks at me. This is not safe place. They are shooting at us. We must get to Larrikin Woods.
And he turns to you, and he says, "Seems your wife had a change of gender."
Igby violently rips her mustache off and says, "Me too." and it says, "Now idiots run or we all die." And she's going to attempt to deceive them in the direct line for the pit.
Okay, so go ahead and make a deception check, and I'll roll. I'll roll.
You get a D4
Oh.
added to your deception check.
Yes.
Or is that just attack and saving?
Just
throws?
attack and
Actually.
saving throws. Guidance
Oh, okay.
would be for that.
Oh, right.
You want a deception? So 18 deception?
Yeah, he seems shaken, for sure, by this. He's not. He's a little like the other ones seem like they're ready to run, like they're ready to bolt. Actually, they do bolt. They run away. Like they start running away, and he's like, "What are you?" And he like and now he's like, you see like you can see the beads of sweat start to come down his face as his buddies just take off running away back
So
to
it's
town.
just him, right?
It's just him, and he's less inclined to just flat out run because there's arrows shot at him. So turning your back to where arrows coming from is not typically a sane move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like now he's definitely fretting quite a bit and he like doesn't know what to do. He's like looking left and right, arms up, trying to like figure out what to do. Clearly in a bit of a pickle.
And well, how can we depickle him?
Am I like positioned in a tree that would, if I were to drop down, I would be near him, or on him, or behind him?
How would you have positioned yourself when this happened? You have the pit, right? You have the pit. Ozzy's on the side of Would you have been behind Ozzy on like that side of the pit, or would you have been on the side of the pit towards town?
I would have made sure that I would have been on the same side of the pit as like my enemies, so that if they tried to do any funny business, I would be there to smite them.
Sure, then, let's say, you can be.
Can what?
You can't. You would be on the side that the beneficial side that where you could drop down like behind him.
Okay, I'm gonna drop down and I'm going to cast Divine Favor on myself and.
Okay, the blessed
Hit him.
drops because it's both concentration.
Okay.
So the blessed drops.
Yeah.
You have divine favor,
Yep.
and now what are you doing
To fucking hit him.
with your sword?
I guess
Okay.
He's alone.
So you're
Please,
I'm
at
gonna
least
back
put him in the
my
pit.
sword.
so you're gonna hit him with your sword then?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll then.
Oh, that's a 19.
Yeah, I mean he's just a dude. Like his AC is like 9. So yeah, you hit him with your sword. Go ahead and roll a D8 plus your, whatever your modifier plus an extra D4 for the divine favor damage.
Oh god, do I kill him on accident?
Don't kill him.
Are you doing non-lethal damage?
No, I don't want to do lethal damage because I just rolled a 7 plus 4 plus 6.
So
Oh.
here's the thing.
17
Here's the
damage.
thing. Did you just say you don't want to do non-lethal damage because that's what you rolled? Or would you have said that prior? Because you didn't say it before you started rolling your damage.
Can you properly believe me? I'm being absolutely sincere. I was not hoping to kill this guy. And now I definitely don't want to kill him.
Okay. I'll allow it. I'll give it to you this one time. Alright? Gotta call it out before you hit him next time.
I will make sure I do that. I was really excited to roll all of those dice because I still totally love rolling that many dice to fucking attack. Or to deal damage, but yeah, I definitely didn't want to kill him. I'm sorry.
Sure, you knock him unconscious. Now he's unconscious.
Cool.
Ozzy lets
I am-
out a huge breath of. Oh, I'm so scared.
Igni begins rolling his body towards the pit.
I'm like, wait. No, I don't want to have to go down there and get him. So let's just tie him up.
Somebody's going in this pit.
I love that we don't.
You spent a whole day digging this hole. Somebody got to go in this pit.
We
I
spent an
did.
entire day making traps and digging the pit, and then
Tell me
neither
about it.
came
I'm
in handy.
bummed too, but also I don't want to crawl down there to get him.
Yeah, let's just tie him up and take him back into town.
Well, why are we back into
No,
town?
we're keeping his ass out here, and we're gonna ask him some questions when he wakes up.
That's right. Good cop, bad cop.
Oh, can I be a good cop?
Yeah.
Sure. Igni binds his hands and his feet, and props him up next to a tree and smacks him a few times to wake him up.
Alright, he wakes up. And he's like... he just like leans back in like just supplication on the tree. He's just not supplication, but he's just resolved. Like he has no strength left. He's just like, oh god, what a.
Are we all like squatting in an even semicircle around him?
I want it to
Yes.
be like behind the tree.
Away
He
from
wouldn't
his
see
vision? Sure.
Yeah,
he wouldn't see it.
you're behind, so he doesn't pull any like bobby pins or tiny daggers out of his wrist area to sever those ropes. You're
Yeah, this
watching.
barber man, he's a real big rogue with all those hidden blades. This barber assassin is just like, wait, this was the plan all along. Get him in close with himself tied up. That's when he makes his move.
Get yourself
I'm gonna-
captured.
We're level 3, okay? This is very serious.
Dead.
I'm gonna sit next to him with my arm around him, like when
Igni says, "We have questions for you."
we got a couple questions, buddy. You want a candy?
Don't give him candy.
I take out a maple candy and be like, "Hey, man, you want a maple candy?"
Don't.
And he just like looks at you, he just squinty eyed, like doesn't say anything.
I think you want a maple candy, and then I like put it in his mouth.
Lilith takes this opportunity to get
He rolls a
real
natural
fucking close
20 to
him.
bite your finger.
This is how Vanan loses.
What's the damage on that?
I'm just treating it as an improvised weapon, because I think it's a little bit more than a punch, right? Because it's teeth. So he's gonna deal 8 points of piercing damage to you.
Oh my god.
That's a lot.
As he bites down, and do I make him bite off like the upper joint of your finger? I don't know.
He'd have to have really fucking sharp teeth to do that.
I don't know, man.
I'm wearing gloves.
All right.
I feel like, yeah.
All right.
Cannot
You have to bite through the
bone.
leather.
Oh,
Man,
you're wearing
you-
gloves.
He's wearing gloves. I'll give you that.
Nail. You've got a fingernail on there. How can you bite through a fingernail in one bite?
Listen, man. I mean, a horse
Got
could
a
bite your
strong
finger
jaw.
off. Cow could bite your finger
That's
off.
a horse.
It's a blunted tooth.
Yeah.
It's also the. Do you see the size of it? Okay.
Is that
he's
a
got-
true fact that it only takes the pressure of biting into a carrot to bite through a finger?
So I've heard.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The
Is
bones
that
in
a
your
true
fingers are very,
fact?
very small.
That's not.
I
a
mean,
true
I'm
fact.
okay with having my character lose a finger as a character trait. I think
It's
that's
not.
pretty
It's not.
cool.
It wouldn't even be the whole finger. It would just be at the first knuckle.
Just the tip.
That sounds
Just
good
the
to
tip.
me. I'm okay with it.
Just the tip. Just for a
in
second,
that-
just to see how it feels.
I love
in
this.
that moment,
Yes.
Vanan's darker nature takes over, and he just punches him and knocks him out again. Not on purpose. It's just like very reactionary.
Yeah,
Okay.
your finger just got bit the fuck tipped off.
We're also gonna say this is your non-shooting hand.
That is very good. So
Yeah.
my left hand.
Yeah, this is the hand you used to hold your
Holds the
bow, which is
Yeah.
fine. And the Dragon's Horde in the chat says Knuckles is a cool nickname.
Awesome.
Knuckles
Oh,
and
Knuckles,
Joan.
guys.
Joan and Knuckles.
Joan and Knuckles. I would watch that.
Van the Knuckles.
I would watch Knuckles and Joan, the buddy cop movie. I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Yeah. Solid.
All right, so you punch him. He's back unconscious.
Oh my god. Ignis
All right.
smacks him around a little
Throw
bit.
him in the pit, Igni.
Oh, I get to throw him pit? And she like smacks him awake. And she drags him over and holds him over the pit as on the verge of like dumping him in and says, "You tell us what we want to know, or I drop you, see?"
He spits Vanon's finger in your face.
Oh, it's so not nice. And she says, "Last chance." And lets I'm sure we've got like a rope. Maybe she like lets the rope go a little bit and like slides free and he falls forward.
He just smirks and doesn't say anything.
You know what?
I'm like, dude, you bit my finger. I was like the only one who wanted to keep you alive after this. So it's like you're definitely gonna die now.
Really do that radiant soul thing where I sprout wings and glowing eyes, and after you dropping them in the pit, I'm gonna float down there and use wrathful voice and be like, "You have tell us what happened and all of the information that you have now before I lob your head off."
Do you drop him in the pit, Igni, once he doesn't answer you?
You're wanting to talk to him? I'm letting her yell.
Well, she said she was going to let him yell at him after he got dropped in the
then
pit.
Yeah, Igni drops him.
All right, so he takes 6 points of falling damage from falling 10 feet, and his neck snaps as he hits the ground.
This is true grave now.
And he is dead.
Saw that coming.
He was unconscious. He had 0 hit points. He only had 6 health to begin with. And he just did 6 points of falling damage.
He's in proper grave now.
He lands on his head, right? Because he's he can't try to shift, right? Because his arms and legs are bound. So he lands on his head and.
I would
Clearly don't know what we're doing.
Can I go down and search him?
Sure. As you watch this, Vanon's nursing and has since stemmed the flow of a lost tip of a finger. Lilith was all ready for her vengeful speech. Igni just dropped this man to his death and then promptly leaps into the pit and starts going through his pockets.
You know what? In lieu of going into Radiant Soul, I'll just pick up the tip of your finger, Vanan, and bring it over to you, and I'm like, healing hands, and...
Yeah. Okay.
You try to it doesn't. Unfortunately, it heals over, but it does not reform the finger. That's
That's
sorry,
actually-
man.
I
I tried.
I mean, I don't know. Healing hands is still pretty dope because that's like.
yeah.
Yeah.
You would heal.
Damage.
She'd heal you for 3 of the points. That
I
you-
literally get your fingers out, and I just, like, do this.
At least it's not bleeding.
That's true. It does stem.
It's not gonna get infected. It's healed now.
Correct. It will not get infected. It is healed. The chat, make this like Dragon's Lair, the game, and explore all the what ifs. What if we didn't kill the barber?
Ozzy is currently propped up against the tree, sitting down with his head in his hands.
Yeah,
Do I find anything on him?
I will tell you in a sec. I'm
Guys.
looking.
I say we throw the plans out the window. Let's just go into town and just gather up all the believers.
All right, I'm down.
And just get them in the center of town. Just be like, why y'all being dicks?
Down.
Why y'all bite my finger off? Why y'all put little kids in basements with stones?
What if there are more of them than us?
Well,
I
you
think we
see,
can handle ourselves.
Why,
I mean,
why
last
don't
night,
we just tell the town that the stones are a lie?
the stones, first of all, are a lie. And last night we killed like 7 of them. and
We
they
did
killed
do that.
another one.
Why? Hey,
I'm not-
guys, I have
I'm not
another
too worried
idea. I
about
have another
that.
idea. Why don't we just get the fuck out of Red Larch and go to another town?
Oh,
To where,
Igni, one of the men in the barbershop actually reminded me. I have something that I was given before I left Waterdeep. It's this map of a dwarven keep in the Sumber Hills.
Do I
One of
hear you
the-
say this?
Is that well? That would be
Yeah,
good
I
to
said it
have
out
known.
loud.
Oh,
Ozzy, I'm like, just remembered this?
just going to
Well,
tell us
this
now.
man brought up the Sumber Hills, and I forgot because it wasn't really relevant at the moment.
Would so much rather be in the Summer Hills than Red Larch right now.
They are dangerous.
Igni, you find in this guy's pocket a
How dangerous.
well-oiled and well-maintained hair trimming and grooming kit.
Hey,
So he has a very well-maintained trimmer and grooming kit that he clearly does not use on any of his customers. That he keeps for himself.
that's all I find on him.
And
He travels with his own personal grooming kit.
13 silver pieces.
Okay.
Yes, because he doesn't want anybody to find it and ask, why aren't you using this in on me and your barbershop? Why is he using
Well,
one old rusty pair of scissors?
This guy's human.
Yes. Well, no, technically he's dead, but
Well, yes, but he was a human.
he was a human.
He was a human. Anything anything odd about him? Is he a pretty normal dude?
He's a
Looking
pretty
dude.
normal-looking dude. Yeah.
I'd like to go to the Summer Hills as well, but Van's kind of out for blood.
Cause yeah, you got your finger bit off.
I got
Like,
my finger bit off, and
can I
he's
roll
like-
it?
Van's a little bit different than he normally is now. Instead of being happy-go-lucky, he's a little bit more angry, a little bit more evilish.
He's a smidge grumpy.
He's a
All
smidge-
from the finger biting.
It was a lot of things. It was a lot of things. I mean, you can kind of tell that Van's putting on a mask for everybody, but now he's kind of he's out of that energy. He's out of that mask energy. And he's just I'm going into town to murder some folks or get some answers.
I say we expose them and then tell them we have giant grave for all believers.
That sounds good. We can put him in the pit and just bury him.
That's a fine. Yes, it's a believer pit.
A believer pit where we can bury them alive.
Lilith sheathes her sword, and while she's listening to you guys, and she turns and looks at you guys, she's like, "Listen, you want to do, if that's what you want to do, but just casting my vote. I'm ready to get the hell out of Red Large. Hate this stinky little town.
What is in these hills you speak of?
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
Everybody wants
have
to
a
go through the
map.
hills. What is there?
I mean, all I know about it is that I was given this map by my mentor, and it's a map of a dungeon keep, or a dwarven keep that may or may not still be there.
Wait a second. Didn't silly man in barber shop tell that story about the graves in the hills?
Yes.
Are these dwarves alive? Are you telling me that there's a keep full of live dwarves right
I don't
for
know.
murdering?
The map is very old, and I don't think we should murder the dwarves.
I think that we're probably only going to get out of these small time, like letting you guys all know how she feels about this tiny town. She's just like, I don't think there's anything more worthwhile. That's that we got, like, the ringleader of this group about ringleaders in small groups. If the ringleader's gone, the small groups really don't have the oomph to, like, but it'll be a while before these guys can do anything. Maybe we should give Grung like a dagger.
To that point, Lilith, I mean, that about giving Grung a dagger, possibly, but to that point, you have nothing suggests that he was the leader. Just to throw it out there.
Oh, I guess I just assumed because he was the one talking for everybody.
When you say, you mean the barber as the leader?
I think
or do you mean Lyric?
I mean, I was referencing the barber, but
the barber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Igni goes, but we still, this Lyric person, he just run off. We have no information as to where he...
Well, why do we want to capture him so badly?
Igni, make me a you know what? Never mind. Igni, you don't have to make any check. As you're thinking about this and the fervor of battle and murdering somebody and all of this is bringing stuff to mind to you, the stony-like splint mail that that Lyric wore is eerily similar in fashion to armor of some folks that you know all too well. The people that not that long ago assaulted you on the road, robbed you, and left you for dead.
Oh, shit.
Oh. So, personal vendetta. Okay, I know nothing else about... So his armor similar to the people that attacked me and left me for dead on the side of the road.
Correct. The stone... Because they were wearing, like, stony armor and they had masks, and he had a very similar... Not exactly the same, but, like, the stone-like texture, rather than, like, looking like traditional plate mail or splint mail. It has a very rocky-like texture.
Is the location at which they did this,
It wasn't not that... It
important?
was... no, you don't think that the location where it happened was important. You just think you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. But this you've never seen armor like this before. Like, this seems to be a relative... This isn't like a commonplace thing. Seems to be relatively unique.
This is the armor on the barber, or the one for Lyric had on?
The Lyric had on.
Lyric, okay, that was the note I had. Okay.
Correct, yeah. He was wearing that splint mail, that rocky splint mail.
Do you remember the clothes he wear? Lyric. Not very stylish, very unique stone armor. I see it on people who attack me on road. Left me for dead. But you can't kill the Igni.
Can't
Do
kill
you know
him.
anything else about them?
Looks like that.
It looks like that.
Like this kind of stone.
We're all looking at it.
Yeah, she like quick sketches
We're all
out of
just
it.
like,
Yeah, this sort of
Sorry, hey
stone.
guys, look, it looks like that.
Yeah, stone-like armor.
spiky.
Yes.
I mean, okay, so wait. Lilith is trying to get strategic here with you guys. Lilith is like, all right, so this Larrick guy fled. We definitely can safely assume that he's the leader of whatever's happening here in Red Larch, right?
Yeah,
He's
I
gone.
think that's safe. Yes.
he's
And
out.
he left these folks here to whatever, like I highly doubt he's gonna be back here anytime soon. And that's just my assumption. So you can tell me if I'm full of shit or not. I'm putting a hard vote and going to the Somber Hills with this map.
I agree. We have nowhere better to go. He is not here, and we can only kill so many people.
Right.
mean,
We
that's-
can keep hanging out to see if he comes back, but I think we could be more what's the word, productive by trying to, I think, falls into movement, right? Like you're better off moving if
You
you want
have
to survive.
convinced me.
I would like to
Go
go
with
to
you
the
guys.
Sumble Hills, but that raises a question. Where are the Sumble Hills?
Well, you have a map, don't you?
I have a map of a dwarven keep in the Sumble Hills.
I mean, Igni's done
Do we
the
have
whole...
like a general geography? Like we know our geography, right? Like do we have basic cartography skills?
Well, now, and I mean, Igni lived on the road for the majority of her life. Maybe some knowledge
Noble,
of
I would have looked at a map or two.
that too.
Let's see here. Well, I look up I flip to the map at this point. Yes, you don't know. Yeah, Larrick is gone. That guy before you killed him said he didn't know basically anything where he was. And Ozzy, you're not exactly the most insightful person, but you don't feel like he was lying to you. Let's see. The Somber Hills is a pretty expansive area. But it is not too far from where you guys currently are. So you guys had moved off into the woods to get away from the town of Red Larch. And it will basically, because I'm actually looking at a map now, so it's just probably why it took them about 3 hours to get to you guys, because that's about how long it would take to, maybe a little bit less if they were going cautiously, to get to where you guys are, which is what you guys wanted to do initially, get away from Red Larch to let things cool off before you went back in. But essentially, you'll have to pass through, unless you go largely around, but pass through Red Larch, or at least nearby it, to get to the Somber Hills, which is there is actually a road that goes from Red Larch into the Somber Hills called the Larch Path.
Oh,
Okay.
convenient.
Yeah.
So so we still have to pass through town.
Right, like if I show you guys roughly the map, like you guys are over, where is it? It is here in the west. Oops, we're off. The Westwood. Red Larch is right here. This is where you guys are. Somber Hills are over here.
Got it.
Hey, Igni, how good are you at disguising a bunch of people?
It's who wants the mustache? She digs in her bag and starts. And she hands you a mustache, and she puts back on her old mustache. I think we pass through no problem. Anybody else want disguises? I got things, cosmetics, and hair dyes, and
I'm okay.
Oh, also, all the while after this has happened, Vanan, John is sort of like, for all intents and purposes, like what would be the equivalent? It doesn't actually have the ability to, but sort of like nudging and sort of like licking where your finger is, like trying to comfort where your finger, was bit off,
John has calmed Vanan down. He is now just petting John.
That's the most precious thing ever.
These trinket tables are the
fresh.
death, or like will be the death of me in the end, because they're so fun, but they're so stupid and could also be super fun as well.
A pet vine ball. That's the sweetest thing ever.
Katie, Lazy Mermaid, last week, she got a bunny that thinks it's a snake. So it like slithers on its stomach and it
That's
acts
so
like a
cute.
snake.
Oh my god.
Adorable.
That's one of the
I can't deal with that.
druid trinkets is a bunny that thinks it's a snake.
Let's walk through town, guys.
Oh yeah, we could walk and talk.
Yeah, so you guys are moving. It is, sort of like dinner-ish time, by the way, and you guys haven't eaten anything all day, except for 2 of you ate pickles on your way in.
Right.
Not even gonna lie, I want to get the fuck away from Red Larch. Lilith is like walking down the path, and you guys are like, "Aren't we gonna stop for dinner?" And Lilith is just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep on walking."
Is there like a street stand or something I could like steal some food from?
No, unfortunately,
Just like
the best place that you could probably get stuff and get out without like too many questions, because people know and like you there, is that Swinging Sword Tavern, because like the other place is a little bit sketchy. They have the most food, and what's her face? Kaylessa runs the bar, and she was the ones who were like, "Oh, we need adventurers to help fix everything," and you guys pretty much fixed everything, and then murdered a guy. But whatever, that's fine.
Well, I'll turn to the party and say, well, we have you who has daggers. We have a hunter who tracks and hunts animals. We could get food on the road.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
And we
just keep going.
stocked up on pickles.
Yeah,
Did
we have
stock
some
up-
pickles that we can eat
I
on
can't
the
promise
way.
that if we spend any more time here, that I won't start killing believers.
We're going to
So
move
we
through
should
town.
just keep
Yeah,
going.
we should go.
Let's just go.
We should go.
Because
We
if
don't
I
want
see
you to
one
be
of them, I'm just gonna.
Let's just
Yes.
get out of here as fast as possible.
Okay, so you get into the town, and you're moving your way through the town. Basically, it's like dinner time rush, so people are out and about, moving around. You don't see any of the believers out, anywhere, in the streets. And again, you see, as you're walking through, you see there's somebody outside the Swinging Sword, someone you've never seen before, in like priestly vestments, kind of blessing. There's like a baby that's there, and they're kind of casting a blessing on this baby as you guys are walking through the town. Does he have anything? Yeah, he's just he seems like he's got like travel like clothes, but he has long white robes with a symbol of a rising sun on the chest of his robes.
Religion check.
Sure.
Yeah, can I make one too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I actually know who it is.
I think you probably do too.
I rolled a 9.
13.
Lathander. The priest of Lathander. Which you know is a holy good god, god of dawns, god of rebirth, sun, all that good
Just
stuff.
like carry on.
Yeah, he was not here when you guys came through. Like he's like basically essentially a new arrival as far as you're aware.
Considering who he is, we're just like, okay, the town. We probably like leave feeling even better because there's like a good
Figure,
presence that's like arrived.
Sure, makes sense. Let me just see. There was one last.
Since nothing else today has.
Okay, that was nothing. Priest. I just want to make sure if there's nothing else that comes up that is super useful to you guys. Again, you just hear in passing more discussion of this Mirabaran trade delegation. And just traveling through that, actually listening for anything, you hear, you previously heard, you hear the name Belliard come up a lot. It's a location. You hear that's brought up a lot in conjunction with those guys.
In conjunction with what?
This
The Mirabar
trade delegation. Which you've heard a little bit about, but your focus more was on trying to deal with everything else in the town, so that sort of fell by the wayside. You heard the story of the shallow graves in the hills.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then the last thing that as you're about to leave, is you see, and this catches your eye, Ozzy, more than anybody else, is, let's see, Endrith Valivo, who is the kind of the one of the merchants, the kind of the sundry salesperson, is talking with just somebody in the street who you don't recognize, about and is discussing this book, which you've never seen before.
Okay.
This is beautifully intricate book, like a manuscript that you can just sort of tell from a distance is dwarven. And like they're just kind of like looking and like having a hushed discussion over this book as you start to head your way out.
Okay. I'm going to kind of tap Igni on the shoulder
Mhm.
and point out the book and mention that looks like it might be important.
Should I relieve him of it?
Couldn't hurt.
Can I get over there without him like noticing me? Can I do sleight of hand and take it?
Sure, I'll give you that. You had to make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, and 18.
Yeah, you are able to relatively easily slip that out of when they're not really paying attention, snatch that book away.
And I pass it off to you because I have literally nowhere to put it on me, and I would kind of pass it to
I'll
Ozzy
take
very
it and
gently.
throw it in my bag.
Okay. Then yeah, again,
Super cash. Nobody even notices.
sure.
Just passing through. This is
And Igni, you hear again that these people with the book also discussing Mirabar and dwarves, as it were. And how there was supposed to be two in this trade delegation.
there's supposed to be 2 dwarves in this trade delegation.
2 living dwarves.
Two
Yes.
live dwarves?
Yes, as in with the assumption that there may be some fallen comrades part of this delegation.
And that they have not fallen into a pit.
That
Truth.
you know.
That we can tell.
That we know of.
That you know of.
You mean haven't fallen into a pit yet? Meaning we could put them in a pit.
Potentially, yes.
Igni decides to stop momentarily and actually speak with 2 people that are conversing. She's gonna try to just charisma the shit out of them. Says, I am so sorry to. She pulls her hood back so she's not in shadow anymore. I am so sorry to eavesdrop on you, but I must know these dwarves. I have 2 friends that are dwarves, and I am afraid they are the same dwarves. Do you know their name?
They do. Make me a perception check and whatever persuasion check as well while you're there.
Okay. All right, I'll do persuasion first at a 9. Good. And what was the other one you needed? A perception.
Please.
Also not very good. 13. So 9 and 13.
You do have inspiration as well if you'd like to use it for either of those.
Dude, and I have a reroll.
You do.
Oh, can I take advantage?
You can.
Okay, I'll take advantage on the persuasion
Okay.
because we need information real bad.
Sure.
Oh, and that's a nat 1, so we're gonna definitely take that 9.
Okay. With your perception, you do notice on the lapel of what is it, Endrith Valivo, this human kind of salesperson, you see a little tiny pin, a silver pin in the shape of a harp. And as you discuss with them, they tell you that the one dwarf is Rundorth, a shield dwarf from Mirabar.
Okay.
And the other is Bruldenthar. Love these names. They're the worst. Who was a historian transporting collections of manuscripts from Waterdeep.
Okay. She says, "Oh, thank you. Good news. These are none of my dwarf friends. But I must say that silver pin is just lovely. Where did you get it?"
At this point, Endrith sort of is like, whoop, and like pushes the pin like back into the collar, like, oh, that was not a thing that should have been seen. But will basically try and misdirect you away from that and been like, are you missing any other friends? Because there were other people in this delegation. Just, you know.
Oh, really?
Just like, and like sort of like trying to like actively not draw attention to the pin on the collar,
Right.
but only doing that.
Oh, the whole time.
The whole, like very nervous.
I guess easier question be, where are these people going? This delegation? Why are they lost or hiding?
All
Kind of
right.
playing dumb to them, trying to get more information out of them. Kind of playing the dumb female role.
Sure. They were supposed to be, let's see. They were supposed to stop. He tells you that they were supposed to stop in Red Larch. They left Mirabar heading here. And that they came through this town of Belliard 2 weeks ago. Or 10 days ago, rather. When he left.
Okay.
And they should be here by now. And because, you know, exposition, there was an elf in the party, a noble from Waterdeep, and they were carting a body as well of a knight killed by orcs in the spine of the world. And a knight of Samalar being taken home to Summit Hall to be interred.
Do I know this knight?
They don't know the name, but that's all you're able to hear. Yeah, I mean, you can, I'm sure, overhear this because she's not being quiet about it. Yeah, they don't have a name for the knight. They just say that the knight was apparently murdered by orcs and they're bringing him home to rest. That's part of this delegation.
I feel like at this point, instead of even trying to like be incognito, I'm genuinely like concerned about who this knight is. So I show up and I'm like, I'm part of Bar. Wait, I need to see who this is.
And then the person will say, I'm sorry, but nobody knows where the delegation is. They've gone missing. There's limited information on where they were. We know they were in the town of Belliard 10 days ago. Where they've gone, no one knows. They should have been here in Red Larch by now. I don't think there's anything else that I can...
I turned to you guys and kind of look like slightly urgent. I'm trying to like have a poker face, but I'm doing a really bad job of like the like large amount of concern that I have that somebody from my order has been
Right.
so
yeah. Igni looks and goes, so if we were to change direction to find this Belliard, to go check on our friends first, which direction would we go?
Alright, I can tell you that. Once I get to the right page. Thank you for the follow, Jim the Knight. We are ever approaching 1,000 followers. Getting
Yes!
very close. Alright, so from Red Larch, Belliard is... it is through the Somber Hills. Basically on the far side of the Somber Hills. Across the stone bridge.
All right.
well.
Yeah, so Igni thanks them for their honesty and openness with her and says, stay safe. Do not trust anyone. She walks away.
I hold up my hand and like the blessing of Samovar.
Yes.
Blessing of Samovar follow you.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Good.
Nope, just traveling, I relay the information regarding where we're headed and what they told me to the group, and remind you that we just have to pass through the hills to get to Belliard so we can check in on this knight situation, this dead knight.
Or the
The missing party.
I want to ask Igni, did you see anything strange on them? Anything
Strange
strange about them?
little pin. He kept trying to hide it as if I did not know.
What did this pin look like?
It was silver. Shiny. I wanted it. But he hid it too quickly. Was there anything else I really noticed about it?
Oh yeah, it looked like a harp.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It was the harp, musical instrument. Does that mean anything to you?
Would I know what that is?
Yeah, you would know. I mean, it's not unhidden. It's the harpers. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you guys want me to try and track these peeps?
Which peeps?
The missing
Never mind.
caravan.
Yeah, the missing caravan.
So I
think
actually have a
we may
question.
have to find them.
Yeah, were they headed south? Like they were coming through Belliard towards,
Yeah, basically
correct?
they traveled
Yeah.
overland from Westbridge to Belliard, which was Westbridge east across the stone
Okay.
bridge to Belliard, and they were heading south.
Okay.
Basically to Summit Hall, which would be where the Knights of Samuel are headed, or are helmed. Basically, that's their place. Probably to drop him off, and then I think what seems they're saying the end goal was to come to Red Larch, but they were expected in Red Larch, like they were in like about 10 days ago, and they have yet to arrive.
Right.
So something presumably happened to delay them, but no one knows why.
Quite what?
And that's happening north of this? Where we're
Summit
trying to go
Hall
in the
is
summer?
basically due east through the Sumber Hills. Westbridge is straight north along the Long Road, and basically exactly at a 45 northeast of where you are is Belliard through the Sumber Hills. You can take the Larch Path to the Stone Trail across the Stone Bridge, and that'd take you to Belliard.
Okay. So our original itinerary was to go to this dwarven keep
In the Sumber Hills, which is somewhere in the Sumber Hills.
And
somewhere, and we don't know exactly where that is.
You have a map, basically, of this stronghold, but it's somewhere in the hills. You don't know where. Or Ozzy doesn't know where, I should say. You may
That
find
being
it,
said, I
but... Sorry, go ahead.
go to Belliard, which is in the Summer Hills. We knocked two birds out with one stone by figuring out what happened to my fallen comrade, and also maybe getting some insight into as to where this keep might be.
I agree. I think this is a good idea.
That sounds good. Do you want me to try and track them or not? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, if you can pick up a trail, go for it.
Yeah, to get that, you basically have to get to Belliard, more or less, to find out where
Oh,
they...
okay, so
you know what I
we
mean?
have to
Like,
get there.
because you
Okay.
can't track them from here, because they never made it here.
Yeah, they never made it here, so we have to, like, go. That makes sense.
Quickly.
Well, knowing what I know about the hoppers, I'm fairly certain that this town is in fairly safe hands. So we should
Let's
be
head
alright.
out.
Just do it.
All right, so with that...
We steal some horses.
Horse thieves!
If you
For the
want...
good of the
Wine
mission.
larceny.
What a lawful paladin. What a lawful paladin.
Is she, well,
Murdering
so
and
I
stealing.
I straight up told you guys she is not frown upon petty thievery as long as it aids the macro good.
Macro.
Yes.
good.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I'm serious. I made that very clear.
You did.
Especially when we were talking about Igny's background. I was like,
yes.
you kill a motherfucker, she doesn't care as long as it's for like serves the purpose of like the greater good. Stealing horses is gonna get us. She believes we are all on a quest for the greater good. So like, let's steal some fucking horses.
All right. Yeah. I'm not even gonna make you roll for it because we're winding down here. We ran a lot longer than anticipated. So you guys steal horses and set out. This is where we're gonna bring this episode to an end. So since we kind of ran long, why don't we start with? I guess we'll go down the appear in order that I have, which starts with it goes Bucky, Brittany, Davis, Chelsea in that order. So Bucky, tell us where we can find you and all that good stuff.
Sure, you can find me on Twitter at Bucky_Masters. I am normally play Vin on Taking Initiative Podcast, and you can find any information about the Taking Initiative Podcast at spark.network and on Twitter at TI_pod.
I only made the macro for him when they were doing the intro, so I got to do that for everybody else. But so, Brittany, you're up next.
You can find me also on Twitter at Visual Warlock, and that's visual spelled with a Z. Otherwise, you can find me basically on any of the Venture Maidens podcast stuff. That's at Venture Maidens or www.theventuremaidens.com. We are on Don't Split the Podcast Network.
Okay. Oh, man, Davis. Fingerless knuckles over here. What you got?
You are muted.
You are muted.
You're muted.
I have to hit my button. There we go. Sorry. I'm Davis, and I do this cool TV show called Dank Dungeons. We just finished filming season 2 on Friday, so that's actually really cool. You can follow us at Twitter at twitter.com/dankdungeonstv or on Facebook at facebook.com/dankdungeons. We just put episode 6 of season 2 up on YouTube, and it's real good. So we're real funny, I hope. I think. Maybe. Not sure.
You guys are funny. You guys are funny.
Yes.
I hope we are. And I play a pretty cool goblin named Corn. I don't know. It's fun. Check us out if you want to.
There you go. And last but certainly not least, Chelsea, tell us about you.
Yeah, you guys can find me here on Twitch. I run a creative stream over at Little Red Dot. You can hit me up on Twitter at little_red dot. When I'm not here every other Monday, I do a 5e podcast called North by Northquest. I play a little part mushroom gnome character, and when I'm not there, every Thursday I'm over on Encounter Roleplay's channel in their viewer game playing a crotchety old pirate named Malone.
There you go. And once again, Ted, I run Nerd Immersion. We just did a 24-hour stream. It was a blast. Some of the folks that you see here are in that. This will be coming up over the course of this week. I will be at Rhode Island Comic-Con for the beer festivities Friday night. So if you're going to the after party at Rhode Island Comic-Con, the Beer Fest team after party, I will be there as one of the 5 members of Team USA. Because don't worry, we're not that drunk. And I will be there partying with the whole crew. We've got Team USA, Team Germany, Team Sweden, Team England, and Team Ireland. All of us are going to be there. I think there's going to be intro music. People from the actual movie are going to be there. It's going to be a crazy time.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to happen. Next week is PAX Unplugged next weekend. So I will be there playing games. And this Friday is the early release of Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which I will be procuring on Friday, which you can expect a video from me detailing many, many of the insights that are inside it as soon as I can possibly finish editing it. So there you go. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to the chat, everybody who came out to support us, to quote, to come up with stupid ideas for names of things, to donating for trinkets that have now seemingly fundamentally altered the game at this point. So anyway, we appreciate you guys. We will catch you in 2 weeks from now. That will be, let's see, the 6th. That'll be the 20th of November. So we will see you guys then. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.